The
Oh, really?
mechanics are
The
no, yeah,
mechanics are a little
seriously.
more.
The mechanics are a little more refined, a little more specific.
Okay.
Also, the map is a lot bigger
Well,
too.
doesn't League have like hundreds of heroes and Dota only have like 100 or something?
I mean, that would be the same. I think League just released a new champion yesterday. I
I just
think
know.
League has
Yeah.
145,
Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous.
and I think Dota. I'm pretty sure Dota 2 also added some new champions. I don't
They're
know.
always adding new shit every other week now. But the thing
Yeah,
about Dota 2, I feel like makes it special is they got the custom games out and now they started the auto chest and they're doing the Warlord. It's becoming like a platform, almost like how the Warcraft 3 engine, the custom maps engine, gave birth to
yeah.
Dota itself. You know, this Dota engine could give birth to the next big thing. Who knows?
Yeah, actually, one of the coolest things I think about Dota is within the game itself. There's a lot of mods. There's a whole bunch of different modified games you could play if you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't tried any of them, but I would like to probably sometime next week or the week before. But yeah, Dota, they're totally fine with modding the game and adding a whole
Now,
bunch of
Blizzard's
stuff.
usually pretty nice about, and I know Dota's not Blizzard, but they kind of came out of the Blizzard kind of open modding kind of thing, and that's what made. I mean,
Well,
think
more
about
it came out the map creator. They kind of had to create their own company to really be able to do their own thing because Blizzard actually as a company is kind of a dickhead.
Oh well,
They,
well now that's completely different. The Blizzard I'm talking about is like circa 2005. You know,
okay.
now it's
Yeah,
like
that's
loot box galore. So
yeah, Blizzard now is kind of they're kind of dickheads over there.
It's funny if you told me 3 years ago that I would be anti-Blizzard, anti-Bethesda, I would have slapped you. But now I'm like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. 3 years is a good bit of time. You're a money grubbing company that gives no fucks about your community.
Yeah, well, when the company gets away from the gaming community, so when Blizzard opened, obviously, and a couple years after they were big, most of the top brass was pretty much, guys who were around understood the gaming community. Now they hire these CEOs and CFOs and COOs from different industries. It's like a pharmaceutical company deciding to hire an agriculture head for their, CFO position. It's not going to fucking work out because you don't know the industry. And now all these gamers, hashtag gamers rise up against these companies who are treating them like pay piggies. Basically, I think what they did was, sorry, I'm going to rant. They're treating gamers, which are mostly men, the male gamers, like female gamers. Because if you look at female gamers, they mostly do mobile phones, all like the clickbait, the clickbait microtransaction. Now it's just infecting the actual gaming community, and it's just so sad, so upsetting.
No, you're not wrong there. Where's that ginger hamster, by the way? Is he here?
I don't know. We are live though. I'm looking at the screen. We're live on this channel. So I've got like 40 people listen to us talk about gaming. Let me try to get to the 4, 5, 50, 60. Let me try to get to the channel so I can look at the live chat. I need to get a link. Let me get this. Hey, TP, can you shoot me a link? Hey, shout out to the dude. I don't see your name, but initials SA, who gave me PayPal today. Thank you so much. It's going to help me grow my Kush fund. Very useful. Okay, Zaris, I guess since it's just us, I'll ask you a couple questions. Is there like a political event or some news topic right now that you were just dying to talk about? Anything that just infuriated you?
Yeah, I did. But it was more a video that I was watching the other day.
Well, was it a YouTube video?
Yeah, it was a 38-minute long presentation that Philosophy Tube made. I actually already made two
Philosophy Tube. I remember roasting him. He's like the British commie, right?
That is correct. Well, I don't know if he's a communist, but
he's commie.
Yeah,
he's verified tanky. Him and non-compete. They get in the same tank, and their beards get all sticky from the fluids they're shooting at each other. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say he's an awful philosopher. He's terrible at making arguments. And the fact that people even give him attention is kind of disheartening to me.
They give him I'll tell you who's giving him attention, man, because he gets his heart in, but his audience members are composed of people who think that kind of weird smelling TA for their graduate class they had for Philosophy 101 was hot. Seriously. It's a bunch of girls who can't get Chad, and so they settle for graduate TA Chad. A graduate TA Chad, aka Philosophy Tube,
I think
has
you give them too much
me.
credit. I mean,
What's up?
I would hope that that's not his audience.
No, I'm telling you, man. Some chicks see the facial hair. He talks like that because he talks like he's smart. He's not smart, but he kind of uses long words. So dumb chicks are gonna fall for it, right? So, but the video I roasted him about, it was the video titled "Why the Left Will Win," and his whole argument was that the left are creating communities of care. I think he's like, we communities of care. We want to lift up the vulnerable individuals, and I'm like, that's just such a beautiful way to describe bitch think. All you want to do is be motherly to everybody, because when you're motherly to everybody, you can't be fatherly to anyone, right? If you treat everybody with like kitten gloves, like, oh, we'll take, because again, these leftists, we take care of the world. We'll take these refugees. And in the video I roasted, I made the point. I was like, Sweden is striving for a community of care, and as a result of their feminist government, they're the gang rape capital of Europe. That's the result.
I think I've got 2 points. There's point number one. My friend Nyla Vet or NC Clark, she also has a channel on YouTube. She says the left's entire argumentation is just basically I care, you don't. Right? It's just basically them saying I care about this problem, you don't care about this problem, and their whole argument just begins and ends with just that: I care, you don't care.
Yep.
And then the second point is it's really interesting to me that one, that's their argumentation, but two, the fact that they can't comprehend that people can try to solve a problem and care about a problem in two different ways. A mom might, if we work on stereotypes, mommy caring about you, hugging you, loving you, telling you it's going to be all right. It's going to be different from dad telling you, hey, here's how you solve the problem. Both people care, but how they express it is different. And a lot of these like liberals they only grasp the motherly, oh, I care. Oh, I have feelings and my feelings are valid. Yeah. Like, no, solving the problem or giving people the tools to solve the problem or letting them figure it out is them caring about them. It's caring about their personal agency and their ability to figure things out for themselves. No one takes that into consideration. Well, I feel like they don't take it into consideration.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because it reminds me of a situation I was in. I was when I was in college, I would always date or try to date the girls who were typically leftist, typically social justice feminists, because I just like the style, like short hair, glasses, tattoos, because they're the freaky ones, right? Well, I took one to a comedy show where
that's just easy street though.
Oh yeah, well, a blonde sorority girl isn't going to suck your dick after you put it in the butt, but a feminist will. So preferences. Anyhow, we went to a concert and they were supporting the migrants going into Europe because there was some migrant crisis or whatever. And I made the point to her. I said, I don't think these people should be going to Europe. And she instantly said, "You don't care." Well, I made the counterpoint that the cost of moving a Middle Eastern individual to Europe, a place where they're not accustomed to the climate, not accustomed to the culture, and will probably be discriminated against due to that, is 10 times the cost it would be to rehouse them somewhere in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. So for every one Middle Eastern man you bring over to Sweden to let him experience the diversity of Swedish victims, you could have saved 10 children in Syria who couldn't make it across, right? So it's like you could just flip it back onto them. You don't care about kids because you care about grown men. Wait, look at this. Look at this mom. God Brother One, Undead Chronic, who's the type of guy I punch out in church. Brother, if you go to a church where people just physically assault each other, I think you need to reread the Bible.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, people be tough on
he's fucked up.
Maybe that's
no, he said it in the chat. He said his mic was fucked up. So hey, Hamster, are you gonna get that fixed? Are you in the chat? Did you drive to Walmart to get one of those $10 USB mics?
I'm pretty sure he'll get it fixed. Might be a software issue. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I hope it's a software issue so we can.
Yeah, I hope he gets it fixed, because right now all that's really happening is we're talking about video games and his mod is shit talking me in the live chat. I bet you wish you could like mute me though. That's all right. Yeah, dude, things have been popping off on YouTube. You remember the YouTube purge with Carlos Maza, right?
No, it's that while.
You don't know about the whole thing? Okay, so I'll explain to you real quick. Carlos Maza works for Vice News, right? And him and Steven Crowder got in a little beef, and they were roasting each other. And so Marza made all these hit pieces on YouTube, which caused Steven Crowder to get demonetized. A bunch of channels were taken down. Black Pigeon Speaks was taken down for like 2 days. People getting censored. So it's basically typical, you know, they're starting to boil the censorship up. It's going to get worse. But it was like a big deal, at least. I mean, I want to say I'm surprised you missed it, but I guess if you don't spend a lot of time on YouTube, you know, if you're doing what I don't know what you're doing with your day, not that spending all day on YouTube is productive, but you know.
Yeah, no, I missed it totally. It did not enter my recommended feed. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah. Well, it's basically, from what I can gather, and from watching Tim Pool, because he used to work for Vice. All these leftist media companies, you know, like Vox, Vice, BuzzFeed, all these online media rags, they lost a ton of ad money when Facebook changed their algorithm. So now the only way for them to get more money is to do more hate bait, more clickbait. But they're also going to attack YouTube because the YouTubers are the people taking all their views. So Carlos Marza has his company, Vice, has an incentive to get more adpocalypses to occur on YouTube because then their company benefits. It's really fucky if you think about it. You think YouTube would not listen to these people trying to destroy their business model, especially since last quarter they said it was, I might get the number wrong, but it was billions of dollars of value lost in Google stocks, primarily due to YouTube not monetizing enough videos, or not as much as they used to, because they demonetized.
Well, of course. Yeah, I mean, no offense, but that's a little obvious. Now we all kind of lost a bunch of money on YouTube, or potential money to be made on YouTube, because of the apocalypse a couple years ago. And I don't think it's gotten any better ever since, at least not for me.
I mean, I was monetized. Okay, I'll tell you what happened, because I'm surprised you didn't hear this. So I had a 30K channel. Well, first I had a 20K channel. I got taken down for community guideline strikes. And then I had a 30K channel. And as I was on a plane to vacation, I was informed by someone else that it was deleted. So I didn't get an email. I didn't have any strikes, copyright, or community guideline strikes. I'm like, okay. I appealed it. I got denied. So YouTube is now deleting channels without any kind of strikes or explanations. And so I made another channel, grew it up to 11K. And then me and some boys took a vacation. And again, on the airport, I was informed my channel got deleted. So this is like my 6th one right now. I got 2K subs.
Wait, seriously? That's garbage, dude.
It's just, well, you know, when you think about it, when I had 30K, I was making probably enough money where I was making like minimum wage for every hour I put in. And my manager, who cuts a lot of videos, is making about that. We were doing it for fun, really. But I also hired a Venezuelan artist. So I have a bunch of different types of art. I had a Venezuelan artist I would PayPal for all these beautiful sketches of my avatar. Well, you know, she's texting me. She's asking me, hey, when's your next piece? We're in really, it's fucking ass down in Venezuela, obviously. I can't commission any pieces. So because YouTube want to censor me, 2 American jobs were lost, and a Venezuelan family is going hungry for censorship. It's just, I don't know, man. I mean, I got the BitChute, and I also got, you know, so it's things are going to change, right? So I think by the time 2020 starts heating up, they're pretty much going to delete all the problem people off of YouTube. And I definitely know that's me. And then once that happens, I'll just stay on BitChute. And there I could really just get back to why I started my channel. You know, it's like kind of got obsessed with the views, trying to grow a business. But I really made the channel to just roast leftists, just completely let them have it. So I guess if I move to BitChute, I can just take the gloves off and, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think it sucks that we even have to like shoot over to BitChute just so we can have a fucking opinion, dude. Hey, like the thing that frustrates me the most is the fact that it's not really breaching community guidelines. It's not actually doing anything wrong. It's just having the wrong opinion. It's just not being what they want to hear. You know, you got like vile people probably should be purged off of different areas. Like if they're really like violent, really inciting violence, trying to get people to radicalize. Yeah. Fair enough. But if someone is just like, yo, dude, this fucking philosophy tube is a fucking bitch ass nigga. He needs to fucking get out of here with this bullshit. He shouldn't be fucking deleted off YouTube because you called someone out on their bullshit.
Well, like, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, the things I say about philosophy tube, let me just think of the brutal roast. I'm trying to get his ugly fare into my head. Oh, yes. Oh, I said that he would be the kind of guy who willingly drops off his little sister at the grooming gang house, right? Oh, man, that's really offensive. That is, you know how it's basically saying I'm saying he doesn't care about his own family. He let them get trafficked. Okay, that's pretty offensive.
He probably would. He made a video straight up where he's defending sex work. Like he probably would be fine with his sister
here's the
being
thing.
a prostitute.
Mm-hmm. Well, I say he's a dirty scumbag, right? Or let's just call him all these names. That's bad. Is it worse than what he does? He has thousands of subscribers, and he is preaching an ideology that killed hundreds of millions of people. How is that acceptable? But I can't call him a little whiny bitch.
Because you hurt feelings. That's why. You hurt people's feelings, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to imagine how stupid that is, though. The fact that it's as simple as you're offensive, you hurt people's feelings, so we're gonna hurt your channel. We're gonna remove all this stuff from you. Like I don't know, man.
That's right.
But mostly because like hurting people's feelings doesn't even mean that you're wrong or even a bad person, dude. You can like the amount of feelings I hurt for just telling the truth, is astronomical. But I'm not wrong in any of my arguments. You know what I mean? I'm not even vile. I'm not even trying. I'm not even my intent is never even to hurt people's feelings. But it's just going to be bound to happen because they've never had someone, tell them the truth about their behavior. Especially when you like if you tell a thought that she's just an insecure woman that needs attention because her dad wasn't in her life. Yeah, that's probably going to hurt her feelings a little bit. But am I wrong? No, of course not.
Nope. Yep. Well, the thing is, we value feelings over facts. And that's, again, when you value feelings over facts, that's what I like to call bitch think. It's emotional thinking. And now that we've gone to the point where, we've been doing that for a while. We've been caring about feelings of the facts, all the accusations of racism on Twitter. Just think about, just off of racism and sexism and Me Too, how many hundreds of thousands of jobs do you think were lost because someone hurt someone's feelings? It's a lot, right? Can you prove that someone's racist? I feel like if someone was racist, they would be proud of it. It's like, hey, do you think white people are better than black people? If a racist would say yes, you wouldn't be ashamed of it, right?
Yeah.
So, all these, and it's funny, you always see the same reaction from these middle-aged white men. It's like, oh, you're a racist. They put their hands up like, no, I just, I have a black, all this stuff. It's like, you can't do that. You just have to say you're racist. Just flip around. Like, no, you're the racist. Can't you see I'm transracial?
Yeah, fair enough. The thing that I don't know, the topic of racism. I mean, honestly, like, how many people are actually racist, though? I mean, there are like a couple. There's a couple of like neo-Nazis you find on the internet. Like, how many normal, average people are like really racist?
I would argue that every single white person that votes for the Democrats are at least a little bit inherently racist against themselves, right? And of course, that's that's fucking, that's like obviously not true. But I talk about one story. It's a bunch of white people in LA, of course, it's California, a bunch of white dudes. They put on their MAGA hats, khakis, and white shirts, and then let themselves be walked on leashes like dogs by people of color and lesbians. And so basically they had a bunch of Trump supporters because they were in the Trump hats, being walked like dogs. So these cuck boys, right? The number one demographic of a soy boy is a white male between the ages of fucking 20 and 35. Matt Shea, the biggest soy boy I know, he's white. All these white soy boys out here just preaching racism against white people. I don't understand it, man.
Well, they're trying to be good boys, man. They're trying to be the best good boy they can be. I think it's all their attempt to just, kowtow and make sure that they're the one good man, the one true man that's not trying to hurt females and trying to be the best he can be. But I think it kind of sucks because, it always has to come at the expense of other men, or like their very sex or their very race or very nature. It's always at that expense, rather than them, proving themselves to be good individuals. It's like, no, everyone else is awful and horrible.
It kind of reminds me of male feminists. Like these white soy boys who talk about white privilege are the same as male feminists. It's like they're trying to backstab, and I don't think that's the right word. They're trying to like join the side of justice in their mind, and they say, oh, I'm a white guy who supports the Democratic Party. I'm obviously not a racist, but everybody who isn't is a racist. So like a male I'll explain this way. A male feminist, right? He is sitting at the social justice totem pole. He's at the bottom of it. The only person, a white straight male is more important than, at least on the left, is a white straight male who isn't a leftist. So for the left, they're shit, but at least they're not absolute shit, and they can still shit on straight white Republicans.
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, you're
Yes.
back.
We can hear you now.
Mr. Boomer is in the house.
I
How you
know,
doing?
right? Okay, I had to reboot. We're good. Go on, guys. It's good stuff.
Wait, could you hear us the whole time? I guess you can't hear me
Yeah,
anymore.
I heard you.
Okay,
The
all
whole
right.
time.
Okay.
Like,
Hey,
I'm screaming into the microphone. It's like, oh my God, I'm not here. What's going on?
Oh my
So
gosh.
no, it's good stuff.
Hey.
Please continue.
Maxwell, can I ask you a favor?
Yeah, sure.
Can you unmod God Brother 1 and mod Top Patrol? Because
Godbotherer one.
why is he so angry? He hates me so much. And I could take hate, but taking hate from him at live stream mod, that's what?
Yeah, well, that's Godbotherer. I mean, he's okay. He's a good friend of mine. So
okay.
yeah. We're gonna do a live stream with you and him because he's fun. He's
Oh
good
wait,
stuff.
is this the dude that wants to rip out my throat?
Oh yeah, that's the guy.
Wait, why are you so mad?
Bragging to me about how Catholic he is.
Oh yeah, he's a Christian, and I think
Oh.
he's a virgin.
I didn't really associate acts of physical violence with Christianity, but I guess I'd have to ask God, brother.
Just speak to him. I'll get you hooked up. Don't worry.
Oh, that'd be fun time.
Yeah, it'd be a good time.
Absolutely. Okay.
So Zerus, glad to see you again, man.
Of course. Always. It's always a pleasure to come, I would say. Do you have any topics you wanted to discuss? We've been just kind of shooting the shit.
No, please continue. Don't worry about me. I was in actually. I was really interested in what you guys were saying. So please go on, and I'll get Coach Adams on the horn here.
Yeah, I was wondering. So, who is Coach Adams? Explain him to me.
Zerus,
He's my middle school basketball coach.
Is he really?
No. I was fucking with you, man.
I gotta double check because sometimes people really are connected, and I'm just,
I'm not connected with anybody. I mean, I guess I'm connected with a typical 19-year-old Asian girl who's questioning her sexuality, but that's only for 20 minutes at a time.
I guess. Is that how long you can last? I mean,
Yeah, man. After 20 minutes, I'm like, what am I even doing here? Like, I can't feel anything. I'm already fucked up. This chick kind of smells like 3-day-year-old Chinese food. And I'll tell you the truth right now, Chinese food lasts in the fridge about 10 minutes before it goes bad. So this shit smells nasty. There's dirt everywhere. I'm just not feeling the Woodstock vibes. And I just jump out the window after 20 minutes, typically.
Do you fly? Do you have a cape? No, I'm kidding.
No, I
Anyhow,
sprained the fuck out of my ankle.
who is Coach Adams though?
I would describe him as red pill. Maybe he used to make MGTOW content, but he does live streams frequently, and he makes good stuff. I'm a fan of him. I don't know anybody comparable because he's the only YouTuber with coach in his name that I kind of respect because who knows.
What about Coach Red Pill though? I guess
Coach
you don't respect
Red
him.
Pill.
I guess. Yeah,
I've never seen him, so like I just wouldn't know. You see, the only coaches I know are it's just Coach Greg Adams and Coach Blackpill, who isn't even Blackpill, which I still think is fucking hilarious.
Fuck, I know who he is. Oh, okay.
He's
Okay.
not
Yeah.
Blackpill. Names himself Coach Blackpill, and then gets triggered when people roast him for not being Blackpill.
Yeah, I have indeed seen Coach Greg Adams. Yeah, I've seen him several times before. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of advice for you, Zerus. So,
Advice? I don't need any advice. What do you mean?
you're going to love this guy. Yeah, you are.
Probably. I do. I like the videos I saw of him.
Yeah, he's good stuff. And your videos are fantastic. You know I love you, buddy. Come on.
But yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. My videos they're okay.
I mean, Maxwell's been coming up. I mean, Maxwell's been growing pretty good. You got 2K subs in the past month or two, haven't you, boy?
That is correct.
Yeah, you got a couple videos up at like 100K views and proud. Some good shit, man.
Well,
Okay.
we just
awesome.
try. We do it, whatever we.
Speaking of just try, I have what is this? A Queen Mary Jane's gourmet hot chocolate mix with 300 milligrams of activated THC. So you know what? I think I'm going to cook this and drink it in favor or in God Brother's honor. This one's for you, man. Gosh, yes. So Coach should be on in like 5 minutes, right? Or is he coming 30?
I don't know.
I'm talking Maxwell.
No, he's coming up in a couple of minutes here.
Oh, okay,
gonna, 6 minutes. I mean, the guy's busy, right? I mean, come on. He's gonna, he's got to do his thing. He's got to hit some more. He's got to hit some peace leave, is what he says.
Peace leave.
Peace leave. Yeah, pussy.
Oh.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't know. You guys got anything to chat about?
Yeah, something that Undead Chronic would know about. He's banging all kinds of chicks. What is this, Undead? You whore. You son of a bitch.
This is abuse I'm getting from the mods. I've never had it. He says, Undead Chronic, drink your bong water. You are a loser. God Brother One, I have a question for you. Are you upset because I'm a loser, or are you more upset because I get to fuck the Christian goody girls and then pass them over to dudes like you? I think that's what makes you really angry, man.
I think that makes everyone angry. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I'd be pissed. I mean, if I thought I would have like a good Christian girl who is a virgin, the wedding night, I'm just looking into the cavernous opening that is her puñada. I'd be like, what's up with this? It doesn't like that in the books.
Actually, here's the thing. I was thinking about this the other day. Not even thinking about it. Actually, I did make the video. I'll probably upload sometime next week. But I was watching an old video I made about incels, and one of them made a long post about preferring virginal women or something like that. I can probably find it somewhere if I really cared. But it did bring the question to my mind about preferring to marry virgins, right? And I thought it was pretty interesting, the fact that the guy who was reading the post didn't think that it was fair for an incel to say that he preferred to marry a virgin. And I just kind of thought that I was bullshit, because I'm like, I mean, anyone can have any preference that they want, but asking for a woman to be a virgin kind of specifically tackles the nature of a monogamous relationship. Like, the nature of monogamy is to be with one person, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're asking for a virginal woman, you're asking for the very core of what that single relationship is supposed to be, versus if you're asking for someone that's tall or someone that has a lot of money, like any of this other superficial shit that no one questions. We're like, okay, that's fine for your preferences to have. But if you're like, no, you should be a virginal woman if you want to get married, then all of a sudden it becomes an insult.
Bitches lose their shit.
Yeah, like they get really offended by that. And I just find it pretty interesting. It's like, come on, dude. Like, now here's the thing. Like, I'm 6'1". Like, I'll never have to worry about being too short. You know what I mean? Like, unless this girl's like, no, you got to be 7 feet tall to get this pussy. Okay, well, at that point, and you know what I mean? Like, it's game over. But
hey, humans are just getting taller, man. In 100 years, it's going to be a 7-foot standard. I guarantee it. If you're not 7 foot or plus, don't fucker swipe right on me, clean tor.
I don't know if we ever get that tall, but you know what? Even if I take your word for it, my overall point was the fact that it's totally like fine and natural to have that kind of preference for men. But if you even approach the topic of like virginity in women, then that's an insult, and that's
even
bad.
If you do it with, even if you do it back to the Christian thing, not even joking, even if you do it with Christian women, I mean, I've spent enough time in not pulpits, but fucking, the pews of all these Baptist places, and they always talk about, men need to control their sexuality, men need to control X, Y, or Z. I have not heard a single preacher, a single pastor in my entire life, and I lived in the South, so talk about how women should stay virgins. It's always about the forgiveness for the woman, and always, it's like the women get the New Testament and the dudes get the Old Testament. And to be honest, guys like God Brother, the guy in the chat, they take all these religious standards and just make sure every man has to follow it to a T. And for the woman, oh, you got the New Testament, you're forgiven. Just be a born-again virgin. It works. The Lord Jesus will come and automatically regen your little hymen. You want to drink this? You care? No. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me though is there is a point that like the incel made in his post, and he was like, trying to see if I can remember it accurately. And one of the points he was making was that no matter what, like she's always going to have a history with like other guys in her past. And I was sitting there like, that's a really good point. If she does come into a relationship with prior sexual experience, like no matter what, you're always going to be getting compared to that. Like there's no way you're going to divorce that because sex requires your body, unless she forgets. Like everything she would have learned that she liked about having sex would have come from the seed of some other man at some other time. You're just never going to escape that once she's been touched by somebody else or multiple different people before she meets you. And then I was sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, those are all choices that she made, right? That was a conscious decision to like have sex with other people.
Mhm.
Should it not be fair if I have the preference to say, no, I don't want to deal with that? Now, I don't think it's practical. Like, if you want me to be real with you, I don't think it's practical to have that standard. Like, you probably would not be able to date very many women at all. Like,
I mean, it just
can I say that it's not fair? I'm like, no, I really can't. Like, I really can't say that it's unfair to have the preference of like, I just want to date a virgin woman. I think that's totally fine. I don't think you'll find one, but
I mean,
I think it's
you
unacceptable.
just have to be willing to either import her in, go to her country, or date an Amish chick or a Muslim chick, traditionally conservative.
You gotta find a
date an
homeschooled
oppressed woman.
girl. I think that's what it is. They gotta be homeschooled. I think then you'll be pretty safe there. In my experience, at least.
Now, you see, Zeris, you're in a unique position because you're still open to dating and relationships and such. And I know a lot of my audience is not, right? But I always tell them that you just have to respect a man's choice. And we all know that a virgin makes the best bet for a long-term commitment shape, right?
Yeah.
So you have these girls running around. And so if some guy walked up to me, he's like, hey, dude, I met this girl. She's fucked 3 other guys. I'm her 4th. I really want to marry her. She's amazing for me. All the shit. I would tell him about the family court. I would tell him what he needs to do to hedge his bets. Basically, if she divorces you, you need to flee the country. And I would say, I'd suggest against it, but it's your own life. There's a lot of people just get so ass hurt, they're like, I'm red pill, I'm MGTOW. You looked at a woman today, you fucking simp. I swear it's getting nuts. All these people are going crazy.
Yeah, I've never been. Like I said, I've never hated women. I've never been upset. No, that's not true. I have. There was this one chick I met in college that definitely made me a misogynist for a period of time, but I was able to get out of that rut. I can understand having a disdain for women for a short period of time. I just can't hang on to it forever because for as many negative experiences as I had with women, I've also had positive experiences too. So I can never be like, oh no, all women are X particular way. Because that's just it's not true.
I mean,
that
there are some things that you could say, like all women lose fertility at a certain age.
Yeah.
It's all a skill. You see, with the biologist training, a lot of what we would do is data collection, and a lot of data it's not all yes or no. It's a continuum, right? Just you have the continuum of thoughterry. Your average American woman is a thought, and that's why we're in the thought apocalypse. But you have some super thoughts out there, some uber thoughts, and then you have nuns living in Mexico who don't even know what a man looks like, right? Everything is on a scale, and people who deal with just absolutes, it just really it gets dangerous, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that's a good way. That's a succinct way to put it.
Hamster, what do you think about that? People are here for your live stream, Hamster. Where you at? Okay, I guess we'll keep talking to his subs for him. Hello, Hamster subs. You are now Undead Chronic subs. Welcome, please.
Maybe I should actually go check out the chat. Hold on.
I mean, nothing. There's just one mod like telling me I should die of AIDS.
What are you saying here? What did I miss? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right, man. I just want you to talk to your subs, man. They're here for you. I have 2K subs, man. I am nothing compared to you. Get up.
That's true. Where's my free beer, you bitch?
Maybe
Coach Greg Adams is in the he's going to be in the house here shortly, so this is going to be fun.
Oh man. Oh.
Yeah, he's the man.
No, I just got a piece of Kush in my eye. That's why I'm like grunting. It kind of hurt.
Are you blowing some fucking Bong again, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the bong and then I'm gonna drink the water.
I mean, what does it taste like? Dick? You would know.
Well, name.
What kind of weed do you think I'm smoking?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, dude.
Dickweed, buddy. Dickweed.
Dickweed. Penis. I'd put a penis in the bowl and like that shit. Yeah. What do you think about the Democrat debates, Maxwell? You see, I went through the first one, and I'm like halfway through responding to the whole thing. It's like 3 hours, and I was gonna live stream it, but I heard people were getting instant deleted off of YouTube for live streaming live streaming the debate because it was hosted by CBS. But I have some good roasts. Did you watch it?
All I know is that Yin Yang got silenced.
Did you call him Yin Yang?
Yin
I don't
Yang, I
watch your
did.
shit. It's all
Yin Yang.
bullshit.
Yin Yang, whatever the fuck that dude is.
Yin Yang, yo, that's his name.
Give me $1,000, please.
What is his actual name though? He's
Andrew Yang.
there it is.
Yeah, you're close enough, man. I know exactly who you're talking about. There's my favorite candidate though is a gay dude. His last name, I'm not even kidding you, is Buttgeg.
Nah, he made that shit up.
No,
There's no way. He was not naturally given that name.
Buttgeg.
He legally changed it, dude. That was what country would that name even originate from, if not from his own creation?
Maybe Afghanistan.
There you go.
Everybody, Coach Greg Adams in
Wakandas,
the house.
apparently.
Guys, Coach Greg is here. Hi, Coach. What's up?
Hello there, Coach Greg.
Coach,
what's going on, fellas?
I am such a big fan. This is so awesome to be live streaming with you, man.
My man Undead in the building. He has risen 3 times. He has risen. Goodness. What did they do to you, brother?
Apparently, he's risen like 6 times. I think this is his 6th respawn, apparently.
I'll tell you what happened, Greg, because I respect you and I want to warn you. So
Yeah.
I had that 30K channel, and it was deleted when I had 0 copyright strikes, 0 community guideline strikes, and I didn't even get a damn email. So you need to watch out. We talked about it.
Yeah.
We just stopped putting Red Pill and MGTOW on all the video titles, and I think that might be a big part of it. But we all know it's coming soon. I just hope that you show your BitChute enough, so if you do get censored, you got somewhere to go.
Yeah, man, it's tough out here. So what I did that early on. I think people suggested that I change my name. They're like, Coach, a lot of people didn't get on because of the name. And I started taking MGTOW out of the titles just because people were getting deleted. Their channels lost. I remember Lion and MGTOW got deleted. That was when Big John got deleted, right when I started making content. And it's just the nature of the business that we do, or the contents that we do out here, man.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm glad to be here, JVM. And what's going on? I guess it's Zarius, but I think it's BassFM, right?
It's BassFzz.
Okay,
I'll probably change it one of these days.
I've seen your videos too. So yeah, man, it's good to be in here.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
man.
Yeah, I mean, before I was making videos, you've been around, so I remember seeing you and listening to your
true.
stuff. So yeah, man. I mean,
I remember watching Zarius take some film off of his 2005 Razor and just throw it up. I'm like, who is this man from the 80s? What am I looking at?
I was in the past, man.
You had your fro coming out too, man. I was like, this dude is like my college dorm mate. Just give me some red pills. This is
right.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't know. I've learned a lot from the coach as well. I actually, when I used to exercise, I'll probably get back into it soon. But I would actually play your videos because they were really long and I enjoyed them. So I actually forgot what your name was, but I knew your channel. So
good stuff.
I'm glad to see you again.
Yeah, man. Good to see everybody in here. I don't know what you guys were talking about beforehand because I'm not technically savvy. I was just trying to get my computer to accept the fact that I can get on the Google Hangout. That's the first time I've done it. So it took me to switch my web browser to do so. So sorry, I'm late.
That's all right.
Yeah, it does that actually. Some web browsers aren't optimized for Google Hangout for some reason.
Yeah,
I can't tell you why.
Yeah, Safari was not having it, so I had to switch over to the Google Chrome, and here I am. So I guess that I suppose Google has a better handle with the Google Chrome browser. So anyway, what's the subject matter today, brothers?
We were just all over the place.
Yeah, we went from censorship to, the standard of whether or not it's fair to expect a virgin for marriage. So you can pick one of those two.
Goodness. All right. So let's handle the second one.
Oh, yeah.
Censorship is out of our control, but the virgin relationship issue is going to be difficult, man, because what feminism has taught these women is that they can try to attempt to be like us, but they have all the accountability. I mean, they have everything to lose by bringing that used up peace leave to the table. I mean, what guy in their right mind? I mean, there's some monkey simps out there. All right. Like I say on my channel, there's some monkey chimpanzees out there that believe that they're getting a true gift and they will marry a woman that's been doing monkey double backflips on plenty of women. And how in the, I mean, why do you consider that a prize at this particular point? So, but it's going to be hard.
That's a good, yeah, that's actually a really good point, because I was thinking about this one for a second. If you look at it literally, if the woman you're coming behind, let's say she's been with like 7 guys before you, that makes you number 8. So you're not special. You know what I mean? That's 7 other people who came before you who've shared that same intimate bond, or supposed to be intimate bond, with this woman. And another thing you got to consider, right, is that if this woman is like had sex with these guys and she didn't care about them, then like what is the reflection does that say about herself? That she put herself in a potential situation where she could have children with someone she didn't like or didn't care about. So now you're coming at number 8 and you're supposed to be the special one, when all these other guys who didn't have to put in any effort, didn't have to show themselves worthy, who didn't care about her, was able to have sex with her. Like what is she effectively communicating by not remaining a virgin when she meets to you, but having sex with people that she can't have a consistent relationship with?
This is
like those are the kind of thoughts that I have.
I got answers to these thoughts, and I'll tell you what she's communicating. A non-virgin woman in a relationship, the only thing she is communicating is a various spectrum of genetically diverse, sexually transmitted diseases to your penis. So you better stay away.
The problem is at that particular point, say she comes to you and she's not a virgin. I mean, the odds that she is able to pair bond with you on an emotional level, which that's what they're selling. They're selling that they can pair bond with you on an emotional level. The odds that she can do that is almost 0. And you're being conservative, my man, over there saying 7. All right. We know these women can have 7 in a particular 3-month period. So the odds that she can pair bond with you is a lie. And that's a lie that she's perpetuating onto you. Now, what does she aim to benefit by doing so? She has you by the balls of the legal system. Okay. Mm-hmm. She fools you into believing that she loves you. She's going to be there for you. She's going to work as a unit with you. But she's a feminist. All right. And at the end of the day, she has everything to gain financially from you. She's willing to destroy you. And just like the men that she destroyed on her path on the way to you, that's what you're going to get from her. But can you find a non-virgin woman under the age of 24? Can you find one?
I would say that it's possible, but unlikely. And that's kind of the thing that where I shoot. I think it's 100% fair. Like, my opinion is, I think it's totally fair if a man says, "Nah, I just want to be with a virginal woman." And the reason why I say that is because if you bring that point up to a lot of women, they get very offended. And even some other dudes get offended too. Like, they're like, "Oh, are you serious? Like, are you really gonna, like, that's not fair. Like, you're asking for too much." And I'm like, yeah, but we reject people on height. We reject people on like all different types of personality stuff. If I reject a woman because she had sex with someone that wasn't me before we met, that's a personal choice she made. That isn't like, her face is ugly, her hair is too short. Like, no, that she decided to do that. And that's a value judgment that I'm making. And I think that that's fair. I don't think it's practical, but I do think it's fair is kind of my point that I'm making. I can't fault any man for saying, "No, I only want to be with a woman that's a virgin." I really can't find the issue there,
There's no issue. The issue is, like Coach said, obtaining a woman. Is it possible to get a virgin under 24? I would say yes. If you're if you're in that age range. Right. But there's been a feminist indoctrination with our culture where an older guy dating a younger girl is seen as creepy and disgusting. So it used to be back in the day when marriage actually meant shit. You would literally go to a father, get his daughter's hand in marriage. You'd ask it, pay the price, and get a virgin. You would have 40-year-old legionaries, you know, the Roman soldiers, come home to Rome, find their buddies if they have daughters, and marry them.
Yep.
You might say that's toxic. You might say that women are property, that's not cool. Okay. But if you go to the extreme opposite, where guys with capital resources and money and the will to commit to a young virgin can't even approach or meet these women or their fathers because it is so looked down upon socially, then they're just going to go overseas, and that's what they do, right? Because a girl's not going to stay chaste. You know, every year that cock carousel is singing. All the Chads are like sirens, right? Imagine all these thoughts on a ship, and then they're passing by, you know, ashore, and on the rocks is like Chad, Tyrone, and Abdul with their 12 packs just doing push-ups. They're going to eventually crash that ship and get on that cock carousel the longer you let them sit. So that's why you would marry them young to a responsible man. But now we have unrestrained thoughterry. I call it the thought apocalypse.
And if you look at the girl, I talked about her on the community channel. I posted about the young girl. She was a University of Utah student that recently they just discovered her. She got killed, unfortunately, but some guy killed her. She was supposedly prim and proper University of Utah student, but it turns out
she's
out there being, what was she? Sugar daddy,
sugar baby.
She was on the sugar baby. Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she's out there. Everybody put her out there. Oh, look at the blonde girl. She disappeared. She was good. All her friends said everything great about her, and she turned out to be a monkey double backflip artist. I mean, can you make a story any better for what young females are aiming to be? They sell themselves on the side. I mean, you guys are trying to talk about finding a virgin today. How can you trust a woman to believe that she's a virgin? This girl's selling herself on the side for older men and claiming to be an expert for it. Now, this story will disappear. All right. This story, that now that it's discovered, she's not an angel. She's not Snow White. This story will disappear because the narrative that they want to, they still want to make men believe that women are sugar and spice and pure as the driven snow, that they can be virgins in college. But if you're on a college campus, there aren't that many virgins out there. Not even the ugly ones.
Only in the
you're right.
Not even the ugly ones. I mean, the ugly ones claim to have, I mean, they can get on Tinder and swipe. If they can't get anybody on their campus,
dude, they can walk outside, man. Like that. they can walk down Main Street. It's a game over.
It's game over. So the odds of a woman being that. Now, if you're a guy of resources, if you have the means to do that and find these women at 21, keep your eye on them, then you can possibly get that. But if you're just a regular guy like us, it's going to be difficult for you to find a woman like that. Now, I'm in my older ages. Anybody that comes in my territory, I know has done crazy amounts of backflips than other guys. All right. Now, I'm a little bit older. But if I was in my mid-20s, your aim is just to wait for anybody that's in the 5th grade now, all right, and keep an eye on them, because there's no way possible anybody your age is going to be like that. But what you were saying, and I'm going to have you guys kick in, what you were saying, Zarius, is that you have a standard. You have a standard. I want my woman to be a virgin. Okay. And you said people come down on you for having that standard. And what's sad about it is men have standards, and anytime we have a standard, they want to demean us for that standard, but they allow women to have a laundry list of standards. And meantime, when they have those standards, they're out doing backflips.
No matter how unreasonable, too. That's the funny part. The standards can be beyond unreasonable, beyond unfair, and it's still okay. Like, for example, consider the following, right? Consider the fact that some women, they can be single mothers, right? And they will expect that any man that comes to their life, expect that they're going to be second to their children and be okay with that.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. Point number one, it is right for that single mother to put her child before any other man, right? Because that's her child. Fair. But to have the expectation that that's reasonable for any man to want to do is beyond the pale for me. It's just beyond me. Like, if any man wants to become a step parent, listen, those children are going to need fathers. I'm not going to besmirch the man for wanting to do that. They need fathers, no way around it. Right. But to have the expectation to go up to men and swipe on Tinder and be like, yeah, I'm a single mom. Like, you should just accept. It's like, you're asking a lot, lady. You're asking him to become the father to a child that's not his. Like, there's got to be some humility there, but there's not. There's no humility in that expectation of man. You have to become the father to someone else's child. It's like, no, like you got to come with some humble pie. You got to come with some, listen, now, hold on. It's not your baby, but I'm changed. I'm faithful. I'm going to be there. But no, there is no selling point. There is no, listen, I'm going to be a good woman to you now. It's, you got to accept me for who I am, take on my children. This is how it's going to be. And I'm like, ladies, like, at that point, it's over. Like, the time for you to be arrogant and just tell men they got to do it, it's done. You got to accept the kindness of men. You got to accept if any man does that, like, he should be considered a hero to any woman. But they don't consider that, you know what I mean? Like, they don't consider that this man is like, I'm going to take on this responsibility and I'm going to be the father to this kid. And they still take that man for granted. They still disrespect that man. They expect that he's not supposed to have any opinions or feel any bad about the fact that he's got to raise a kid that's not his now. It's like, get out of here.
Well, you accepted it. You accepted it. You came down on your knees, all right? And she knows she's garbage, all right? She knows she doesn't have anything to offer, but you were willing to take it. She already knows. She already evaluates you as lower than or less than. So how is she going to treat you?
I mean, that's a good point, man. It's unfortunate that that's the case, but, you know, that's a good point. If they have no respect for you, then they're just not going to gain it.
No. And you know, the older you get, the older you guys are in this, you guys will be in a situation where you'll date women like that. Hopefully you don't, listening to us, and you'll look back, you'll wait, just go back and look at them 5 years later. They'll still be single. Nobody will step up to them. They'll still have this expectation, these grand expectations about what men they should be getting, and they will still be single. So never feel like you gotta be the one to take that step.
Greg, that was a great point. And these women who they stay single, I actually want to introduce you guys to a new term. I read on 4chan. It's called emotionally celibate, an MCEL. It's the female version of an incel. It's a woman who can't get a man to commit to her emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I'm doing
that's a good one. Actually, that's good.
I'm going to do a series on it. I already started with it. And, you know, all these old ladies, when I say old, I mean 30 plus, who expect, they want the 666. They want that devil Chad. They want a 6-inch dick, a 6-figure salary. Top it off, he's got to be 6'6".
But that's in their mind. They believe that they can get that. And unfortunately, here's the deal. They can get it. They can get it for one night.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they can get Chad to come over there and knock it down. But what they are fooled is that they can actually attempt to get him long term. And that's where they lose out.
I don't think a lot of ladies really do take that into consideration, that being attractive or looking good or just being a woman it's gonna get you attention. It's gonna get a guy to come and engage with you. Right. But the novelty is gonna go away eventually. Like, no matter how many times, it doesn't matter how sexy a woman is, you know, eventually you're just gonna get tired of talking to her if she's just unpleasant, if she's just boring, if she's mean. You're just not gonna want to put up with something like that, you know? So a lot of women don't take the time to really build up their character, honestly. They just were like, hey, I looked good, why won't he stay? And it's like, he doesn't stay because you don't have anything interesting to talk about. He doesn't stay because you're mean, because you're selfish, because you're XYZ. You have to actually be a good person to want to be around if you want to have a long-term relationship. You know, I don't think a lot of people are out there saying, like, ladies, you have to try, basically.
Well, they master the art of bringing men in. Just look at what they go through on a daily basis. They put up the makeup, they put on the bodysuit. All of what they focus on is to bring you into the door. Okay. They don't focus on what keeps you into the door. And that's what's missing from today's women. They should be mastering what can keep you in the door instead of what can bring you in. But I get it. They have to be able to bring you in. And you see women who are overweight, out of shape, looking like Grimace from McDonald's, but her fingernails are done. Her hair is done. Her makeup is done. She's doing still all of the things that she believes can reel you in with her so-called pretty face, but she still doesn't have anything to offer on the other end of the spectrum, there are some women who don't do any of that, who are very plain. And they actually are probably a little more interesting, a little more interesting than the women who go through all the charades to bring you in. However, they still get maximum attention, so much so that they don't believe that they have to really work on themselves. They think they're interesting. I had a girl. She was a principal of I think it was an elementary school. She once said to me, I told her, I was like, I'm watching the NCAA tournament. And she was like, well, how come we can't hang out? Aren't I interesting? That was basically her question. I'm interesting, right? Do you really think you're more interesting than the Final Four? I mean, this is what they believe. I'm watching the final damn four. And she's like, oh, you should be hanging out with me because I'm interesting and even more interesting than that. See, this is what they believe. This is what they believe. And that's where the problem is. They think they're more interesting because people show them online, on Tinder, on Instagram that they're interesting. But that's just a snapshot of who they are.
Yep. Well, there's this idea that, you know, all these women, they need to be interesting. When you say you just don't want a girl, you don't like women going to college, getting all this debt, so you have to pay it off because they're not going to pay it off. They would say, don't you want someone smart to talk to? Wouldn't you get bored to talk to a dumb person? I'll tell you right now, there is only one sound I want to hear from a thought. That's it. Ain't nothing interesting going to come past to me. Like these females think that, you know, they act like men. They think men want to compete in a relationship. They think they want to get challenged. I don't want to have to argue about politics, bitch. No, just give me some food and suck my dick. And these thoughts can't even do that.
Yeah, I think the issue with somebody mentioned this before, with another woman asked, don't you want somebody to challenge you? And I'm like, why would that be necessary?
Yeah,
like that's a common one. Point be for you to challenge me? I mean, are you trying to be my mother? What's the deal? I don't get it.
They're not being submissive. The old school femininity was be submissive, listen to your man, and do what he says. But now that they're in the workforce, they're told to challenge a man. They have to be 50-50 with everything. Let me tell you something. A 50-50 relationship never works. Because you'll disagree on something, and then who gets the tiebreaker? Usually the woman, because the dude just simps. So you need to make it very clear, if you are a tradcon out there, that you're in charge from the get-go. Don't let the chick think that she's 50-50. You got to tell how it is. But even then, they could act submissive, wait 10 years, you got a couple kids, and then the family court is going to financially crucify you.
That's the problem.
You'll be thinking of all the red pill videos you watched.
That's the problem. You just hit that nail on the head. She can act like she's going to do whatever she wants to do. But what they have in their arsenal, that is the great equalizer, that has ruined many a men, that has put men into homeless shelters, which is their car, is the legal system. Until we get reform on the legal system, the game that you play with these women it's always going to be unfair to you, and it's not going to be worth it for you guys. That's why I tell you guys, man, no long-term relationships, no marriage, no cohabitation. It is the only way to go about it. If you want to sidestep it, or if you want to trust, and you want to play the faith game, or the cross your finger, or the rub the rabbit foot, or the flip the lucky coin, if you want to play that game, go ahead. But look at the statistics. They don't lie. What happened to the other guy? Did he get muted, or he muted himself?
I mute myself.
Maxwell.
I mean, Max?
Yeah, Maxwell. Okay. Stay quiet. You know, he's kind of the hamster, but I'll respond to that. I mean, I guess I'm going to come from a different sphere from Zarius and Coach, being a white YouTuber. I'm not green. I'm actually white. I always get these alt-right dudes who are attracted to MGTOW because a lot of MGTOW or a lot of red pill are, you know, conservative on the right wing of the spectrum, I should say, save. And they all come simping at me. They all say, find a traditional white woman who is a virgin who will marry you. And, you know, you could point out the divorce statistics, and it short wires the simp brains. They just say, well, then you just need to find a good woman. Well, let me just say this to people who say that. About that blonde girl, that Utah student. I care more about the black men in jail for child support than a dead white hooker. That's just honest. She made her choice. She was a hooker. She said she was a sugar. She was a hooker. She went to a client's house and she got killed. It sucks. Shouldn't have happened. Sorry for the girl, but being a hooker is not a safe profession. Being a father is not a fucking safe profession in this country anymore. That's the problem.
And when you look at it, the liberation that they had for the young girl who got killed, people will look at it and say, well, they see nothing wrong with her doing that. Oh, she had the right to do that. And they blame the men. I mean, at the end of the day, what they're going to do is they're going to blame the men on the site as opposed to blame the girl for putting herself in that situation. Mm-hmm. Again, these girls just looking at her picture, most people would assume she is a nice girl. She's one of the good ones. Yeah. And she could easily sell herself as that. Say 2 years from now, she graduates from school, she moves back to wherever she came from. She could easily sell herself as that. Now, had she not got killed, she wouldn't have got exposed.
Yep.
But how many women are actually doing this?
So many
of these girls are doing it, especially in college. I mean, they're doing it. So This is where you guys got to be careful. You guys assume the way a woman looks, especially if you talk about white women, they can easily transform themselves.
They are like fucking Decepticon out here. I don't understand all these black guys going for white chicks. I'm like standing at the racial barrier. I'm like, yo, run the fucking other way. Going the wrong way.
Right. That's difficult because the guys that the black guys that are getting this type of quality woman, what happens is they put them so high on the pedestal that it becomes difficult to maintain that, and at some point they reform back to who they originally were.
Yeah.
Hammerhand is in the building. That's what I look like. I think I could see that.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
What's up, Coach Greg? How you doing?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Chilling.
Good. Enjoying your Saturday.
Enjoying my Saturday, getting ready to go and hump hard on this Sunday.
What are you hunting?
Oh, I said hump.
Oh, hump. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just got some work to do on Sunday. Got some shit to take care of. But I love this, man. I just sat in with Mr. Elite and Mr. Former and Mike the MGTOW Monk just a little bit earlier. Lots of good stuff going down. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff, man. We were just talking about the trad cons out here perpetrating a fraud on these young fellas who don't know. And they believe at some point when these women are 29, 30, 31, they're reforming themselves to be pure and innocent and as the driven snow. And these guys are basically getting reformed thoughts. And they're married.
Yeah, I've seen that snow before. It's piled up in the corner when it's really fucking dirty looking.
Well, one of the issues that you guys got to that you guys got to attack, honestly, is the divorce situation in our country. And this is what I hit because I've been through the wheel so many times. Some of you guys haven't yet. And you look and some of you guys still fantasize of what marriage is if you haven't been married. You guys look at women and say, oh, that will never happen to me. Like Undead said, as long as you just pick one of the good ones, you'll be fine. But the good ones aren't that apparent. So you guys take a leap of faith with some of these women, despite the divorce statistics, and you become a victim.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm sorry. She can be an angel. She can be the greatest thing in the world. But what she is still covered by the laws that govern us.
Yep.
And those laws are going to crush you, whether you want it or not, whether she wants it or not. It's a machine.
The greatest ally of the U.S. is the UK, right? We are technically homeboys. We help each other out, military and everything. I got a question, though. Do you think, even though the U.S. and the U.K. would never fight each other because they're so similar and what have you, would the U.S. ever give the U.K. its nuclear launch codes? No, we would not, because fuck those red coat bitches. Okay, let's say you got a girl that loves you. Why don't you marry me? I want the commitment. Don't you love me? Why do you need a gun pointed to my head financially for the rest of my life? If you actually loved me, you would understand the position I'm in and not put me through that. So if a girl asks you why you're not marrying her, or she wants marriage, she doesn't love the guy. She knows exactly what she can get out of marriage. Absolute financial domination if anything goes wrong.
Yes, sir. I mean, what did you just touch on right there? It's all up to him. If he's uninformed, there's this saying, ignorance of the law is not a defense against the law.
Right.
It's true.
And I tell brothers all the time, I said, you can't be legally broken. You get into this particular contract, this marital contract. You sign up with the state to marry a woman. She knows exactly what happens. As a matter of fact, she has a 12-year or 12-year plus head start on you on what marriage is and how it works in your advantage. Now, you meet some girl and 6 months later, you fall head over heels. You haven't done any research on marriage. You haven't even thought about it. Men don't think about marriage. All right. We don't think about it in those terms. We hear bad marriages that men go through, but we just dust it under the rug and say that's their problem. It's not our problem. But then you haven't done any work on how the law applies against you. It'll most likely apply against you. And when that happens, when you get down on bended knee, when you propose to her, she knows exactly. This is why they cry. This is why they say, I can't believe that it happened to me.
I can't believe the sucker.
Yeah, I can't believe this sucker fell for it. I have one. Not only that do I have one, I have a retirement plan. Mm-hmm. I have an individual that is going to provide me resources should it work or not. This is why they're so excited that they got a sucker to do it.
Yep. Well, here's the thing though. Men have came together due to the generosity of the internet, and we started talking about this. So now you talk about this education, girls are 12 years ahead. We're handing out red pills for free on YouTube. They can go to any of these content creators and get educated about the situation. Now here's the only way, in my personal belief, only way it's acceptable to get married. You have to be willing, 100% willing, to completely ghost your home country. If you're in the States, you have to be gone within the night if she divorces you. And who's going to be able to do that? Who's going to be able to have kids and leave their country of birth and their kids just to avoid the family court, right? It's a pretty shitty situation. How do you fix it? You just got to wait for the fall. I don't see an easy fix to this. I mean, we could just go around and, well, I can't say that. I'll say it on BitChute. I'll leave that for
yeah, don't get in trouble. Don't get anybody else in trouble.
Hey, did you hear that story about the chick that went after the dude 50 years after he came back from Canada?
Yep.
What just happened?
Yep. Yeah, the guy, and she was something like 60, 70 years old.
Yeah, she's like 74 fucking years old, man.
She got back child support for kids that were 40 years old. This is how evil and vindictive a person is. What are you still holding on to that you have to go back to a man 40 years later? The children.
Did you hear what they did with the payments? They adjusted the payments for inflation.
Wow. That goes along with the same story as the lottery guy, the guy that won the lottery after the woman filed for divorce, and he had to give her half of the assets because the divorce wasn't finalized. That was another popular story. These things are real, and guys like, that couldn't happen to me. This is reality, and we only publicize the celebrity cases of NBA stars getting divorce rate from their wives. But the reality of this stuff goes on a smaller scale every single day. Men are going to family court, getting bent over every day.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
How many people? I know my father got bent over in the family court. I saw it firsthand. I saw my father, financially speaking, get taken up to the top of the little ziggurat, right? Family court judges up there in the feminist system of laws, child support, alimony. They were able to rip his heart out in like an Aztec sacrifice. You're like ripping the wallet out of the heart. That's literally what it is. My father had to pay child support. He had to pay child support for 2 months, despite the fact he was the sole caretaker of the kids. So even though I did not see the thought for 2 months, my father paid her child support, went straight to cocaine. That's what I would say. So it's ridiculous. It's like, you see that, and then you see an accusation. I had a good friend get accused of something. He didn't do it. he had to spend the night in jail, and he got fucking raped in jail. So because a bitch lied about getting raped, a man got raped. How is that fair?
Damn.
Come on.
That's fucking horrendous.
That's terrible.
Yep. I mean, it's all these small tragedies. It's just like, you could talk about statistics, but you have friends, and who here knows a man that killed himself over some dumb bitch?
Right.
I bet we all know one.
But the problem is when we bring this up on these channels, we're called the names. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of things that are hurting in this society right now. And if everybody wants to be the victim, they can be the victim. But no, men, no, you can't be the victim. Okay. You have to take it. And when you take it, your job is to get right back onto the plantation and find another one and keep doing it. That's the only option that they give us. The minute we say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go our way, or I'm going to be an incel, or I'm going to just pump and dump. They say, no, that's wrong. Don't do that. You're supposed to get back on the plantation and do what good men do.
You know what I just realized? I was thinking about that. I was watching the Democrat debates. I was roasting them, and I was going to put on BitChute.
Oh,
and you know how these candidates, they you'll see them fight for their own identity group, or we need to do this for this group. I would always hear, we need to stop gun violence affecting Black Americans. We need to stop all these Black Americans being imprisoned. Hold up. Wait a minute. You mean to say Black men? You mean to say men being imprisoned? Because if you look at the prison rates, men are jailed for, I think it's like 300% longer for the same crime, some kind of crazy ass stat.
Right.
The difference between black
it's like
and white,
60%.
yeah, the difference between black and whites is, at least the stat I saw was like maybe 20 or 30, but the difference between men and women was, just
staggering. Staggering. Yeah.
And they're committing real crimes. I mean, they're damaging property. The one that had the two ladies, a pregnant woman went over the side chick's house, and then the side chick killed or shot her in the stomach and killed the baby. I mean, these type of things are happening all the time.
I mean, I covered a story where some daycare worker hung a toddler in the basement, killed a toddler, and she got probation.
Wait, how?
Because
I just saw that because she claimed that she was on some fucking postpartum crap or some shit like that.
There you go.
Wow.
Justice would demand that she would be hanging from a tree, but we don't get that. She's a woman, so she has the pussy pass, so she get to walk out of court.
It's much more sinister than it just being a woman. That's Marxism and communism in a fucking nutshell.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can all talk about these ridiculous stories, but I was telling Zurius that as a biologist, we like to talk about the continuum. You get these extremes, you have giraffes, massive necks, and then you probably have other giraffes with small necks. Anyhow, you have these extreme cases, but on the minimalist side, the way sexism affects men that no one even thinks about, healthcare systems, mental health facilities, the schooling system. I go onto YouTube, I type in ADHD school scandal. You think you would see hundreds of thousands of documentaries about how we drugged American boys for decades because they didn't act like females in class. But you don't see that. You just see bullshit. We've been poisoning the minds of young men, not only by giving them these pills, but by telling them there's something wrong with them because they can't sit in a class for 8 hours a day. It's just, so disgusting.
Let me break in real quick and tell you something that my mother told me. We got to talking not too long ago, and she told me in no uncertain terms, when I was in the first grade, I used to get up out of my seat and I'd walk around. Now, I still remember those feelings and those thoughts. There wasn't anything wrong there. I was just bored. She had a very quick talk with a principal and a teacher, and they tried to muscle her into putting me on dope.
I'm not surprised.
No, you shouldn't be surprised, because that is the way that it's going. That's what they want. They want an emasculated, effeminate, weak male population, because it's the only thing that can stand to them. It's the only thing that can step to them and challenge them.
I mean, it's what they want, but masculinity is like trying to put down masculinity is trying to hold a helium balloon underwater with one pinky. You'll move it around for a little bit, but it comes up. And right now we're just seeing the toxic effects of this masculinity. I can speak about the white and black population because I'm in Atlanta. Toxic black masculinity, what it really is when young black men don't have fathers around for whatever reason, maybe they're in jail for some bullshit reason like pot, maybe their dad was a bad boy who ran off, to show off their masculinity, because every man has to do that, they go gangbanging. They join gangs. Well, what do white kids do? White kids go fucking AWOL and shoot up their schools. All these kids who shoot up the schools, most of these kids who shoot up each other on the streets of Chicago, single mother households. There is no masculinity guiding them. So that's the problem.
I said this in the stream earlier. If you guys haven't heard of David Carroll, you should know who David Carroll is. David Carroll's got a lot of great stuff on these subjects, on his topics. You may not agree with him word for word or verbatim, but there's a lot of insight there. So look him up.
I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to agree with anybody word for word. I don't think anybody in this live stream agrees with me 100% on everything.
Right.
You should.
Oh, we know. We know with you specifically.
Yeah. The thing is,
the way chat gets on you.
yeah, man, I'm telling you, all these people, all these haters coming after me. It's just, how it is. But if you can agree to fight together, that's all it takes, right? And I always tell people, if there's a woman out there who wants to vote to abolish the family courts, absolutely I'm going to like her. Oh, she's awesome. Yeah. Go tell all your friends. Fuck the family courts, right? You can't have too many purity tests. And that happens a lot, at least in YouTube communities, because people spend all day on YouTube. They spend all day in certain social media circles, subreddits. If you're on MGTOW subreddit all the time, you're literally going to walk outside and just spontaneously combust, right?
You spend all day watching guys like us, man. You'd be like, I give up.
I watch myself for like 2 hours, like, this bastard's angry.
Right. But check this out. When you talk about women fighting the family court, there was a group of women who did fight the family court. And let me tell you what the story is. Here's the deal. In the MRA movement, all right, they invited women in. All right. This is why men who are MGTOW, they say no women. All right. Because they saw what happened in the MRA situation. What happened was there were women who remarried or got remarried to husbands who got divorce raped. And now these women are seeing the resources that in their second home go into the first home to the ex-wife, and they can't handle it.
Yep.
So these women got together. They went out there and fought about the unfairness of alimony laws and child support laws. Now, the irony of it all is the only reason they're fighting is because of the resource drain that is happening in their second marriage. Now, their second.
Yep.
So it's very much self-interested.
It's self-interest. It has nothing to do with men, and that's how the men's rights, MRA? That's how they got co-opted, and MGTOW basically came up and knocked them out of the box because they allowed those type of women in, and the only reason why they wanted in was because of their own interest, not in the interest of protecting men.
Yep. What guys need to realize is that you probably up to your 18, at least at high school, you have a fake view of women, unless maybe you had a lot of sisters, but they put off this persona. You think they want one thing, they really have ulterior motives. And the thing about the woman for the MRA is fighting for the laws to get more money, you will never see a woman act more viciously when she's being challenged by another woman. Have you seen bitches get catty over a dude? Right? That's how they show they will fight to the death to get resources out of their man to stop going to another bitch.
Right.
That's how it is.
I just want to take a moment and kiss ass and tell my appreciation to all the people on the panel and all the folks in the chat. I think it's wonderful that we have this type of attention, not as an attention seeker, you know what I'm saying, but as for people listening and paying attention. I listen to every one of you. All of your content influences and sways the content that I put out because you all have a head on your shoulders. And I just wanted to give you guys a high five, man.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
We all have helped each other in some way. And again, like you guys said earlier, you don't have to agree with everybody word for word. I don't expect anyone to agree with everything that I say. But at the end of the day, we're taking a stand. We're putting ourselves out there. And some of us are getting really deleted and all that stuff. We're putting ourselves out there, not just for ourselves. We're putting ourselves out there for other people, at least to see what the Blue Pill Society, because they're trying to train and indoctrinate all these boys out there. Not only do they medicate them, and not only do they have to go to school, in the noon aide, the principal, the assistant principal, all the teachers are female. All right. Everybody but the janitor and the basketball coaches female. All right. They have to deal with that. And they see men like us and they're like, they get a complete wake up call. And it's refreshing that they don't have to go out there and be a monkey out here for the rest of these people.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, Coach, I'll go real quick here. My high school in Atlanta, my public high school, there are a lot of poor people, a lot of poor whites, a lot of poor Mexicans, a lot of poor blacks. The ones who succeeded were the ones who played sports because they had daily access to male guidance.
Right.
The ones who weren't into sports, that were from single mother households, they were the ones getting in trouble, just ditching school, getting to juvie. The dudes who were on the football team, all those coaches we had interested in our success, man, nothing can compare to a male role model's influence on a young man's life. Seriously, it's the best thing. So if you're out there and you interact with a young man frequently, try to guide him. You will change his life. I guarantee it.
Well, I mean, now you just got out of a situation where
I'll tell you right now, Hammerhand, I'll address the situation right now. If it wasn't for me, Vox could get doxxed by anybody in this fucking chat.
Because you're right about that.
Bringing information to him, he has attempted to protect himself. So I stay true to my statement that Vox MGTOW owes me $40. I'm going to charge him for the internet safety school. I'm going to do it.
Oh, hey man, even when he went back and he scrubbed all that info, it was still not enough. I found out everything about this kid.
Yeah, well,
that's how I found out that his father passed on a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, I think the best way to move forward, and this is what I did before the situation. He would make videos about me all the time. I would just ignore it because, again, under 18. He came with me some information. I thought I was going to get doxxed. I moved. It didn't happen. No one got doxxed. That's good. But from here on out, we just have to ignore him. Because
I agree.
Every time we say his name, people in our audience are going to hear it and they're going to think, who's that kid, right?
I agree.
And then there gets the risk of him, so. Yeah,
I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah. But back to the conversation at hand, I want to ask Zaria something. You said you were that video with that philosophy tube really pissed you off. What was did you say anything that really set you off, man?
Oh, it was actually on the topic of abortion, actually.
Oh yes, let's hear it.
It was, I can actually show you guys the video. Let me see if I can. It was called Abortion and Ben Shapiro. Oh. And I honestly, he was making arguments against Ben Shapiro. I don't really care about Ben Shapiro all that much. It was more his opening arguments for abortion that really pissed me off because of the way he framed the conversation in and of itself was just kind of totally false. His arguments were just so piss poor that I just was like, how does anyone listen to this bullshit and accept this as reasonable?
He is a communist, so you got to take that at face value. But I guess let's ask, man, I don't. You have so many good questions for these guests. I was going to ask opinions on the abortion because that's a good discussion. But then I'm thinking, who's your least favorite commie bitch YouTuber? Because I got. What do you guys want to talk about? Because I
really don't. Hey, check this out. As far as the women on YouTube, I really don't watch them. I mean, I really don't. None of that comes.
You can only hear your opinion spat back at you so many times before you're like, okay, I get it.
I mean, I really don't watch them. The only one I think that comes up on my suggestions is the only female what is that girl's name? The Ukrainian Lens. For some reason, she keeps popping up. I don't subscribe.
Yes.
You're talking about Braving Ruin?
But any other woman, I don't even listen to them. I don't even attempt to hear whatever that side of the argument is. I mean, I've been hearing it for 40-something years.
This is the problem, Coach, or this is the disconnect. We all have kind of different channels here. My channel is like the Red Pill Expedition Force into the untamed lands of Kakistan. I go to these places where these leftists, communists, and feminists spew their bullshit, and we roast them and laugh at them. But unfortunately, my Undead Chronic Gmail, since I'm looking for this stuff, it only gets recommended from all these social media sites, leftist bullshit. So I get like a notification at 2 a.m. I'm just still fucked up. And it's like it's like, Tim Wise has written a new article. White people are even worse than other white people. I'm like, what the fuck is
Tim Wise?
Who are these? And it's just, I tell people that, I come out here and I listen to all this irradiating cucketry from these fools, and I get cancer. And then I have to smoke the cancer away. So I say, please donate to my Kush fund. I have, my cancer has AIDS. That's how bad it is out here, man.
That sounds like a vicious fucking circle.
Oh, it's bad. I smoke because I'm depressed. I'm depressed because I look at fat feminists all day. And I look at fat feminists all day because I smoke. It's a trinity of evil.
Where's the ginger hamster at?
He's sitting in the back. He might be just hammered. He said he was going to drink tonight, but
he just chilling then.
He passed the fuck out. This stream's going to be on live for another 8 hours. You start hearing some snoring.
All good. So ask away, man. What questions do you want to ask?
Yeah, it's my damn birthday, guys. Come on.
Hey, happy birthday, James.
Thank you.
Wait. Let's guess the age. So, I think I saw. I'm not gonna talk your name, but I did see your real name, Hamster, when I was reading through the genealogy of Moses. Is this true, old man?
Yes. Jesus Christ.
He had Abraham sign his high school yearbook.
He was my next door neighbor.
55 years old. Thank you.
Hey, let's give a round of applause. That's right. Happy birthday, man.
Don't clap too hard. You'll break your hands.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just an old son of a bitch.
There we go. Well, let's keep the conversation moving forward.
Yes, sir.
2020. What do you guys think the next move, the next power grab, the feminists, at least in the United States, are going to go for? Are they going to go for more pay gap bullshit? Are they going to try to talk about rape culture? What am I going to hear about for the next year?
No, that's just nonsense. That small peripheral shit, that's nonsense. They're already doing it. Censorship is the only way forward for them now. Right. They don't have anything left.
That's so true. I mean, yeah, that's true. Censorship.
Well, because if you look at it, all of us have been so vocal on all of the Me Too stuff. It has fallen apart. It fell apart when Asia Argento came out and the young boy who was 17. And Asia Argento was one of the first Me Too people against Harvey Weinstein. Mm-hmm. And she apparently slept with a boy who was 17, who she was in a movie with when he was 8 years old. So the Me Too wheels fell apart. A lot of those incidences that even the what's the guy's name? The actor, male actor.
Sorry, I know exactly. You're talking about Aziz. His name is Aziz Ansari.
No, not Aziz. That fell apart. It was the he was.
I hate that cuck. Aziz deserves to get Me Too. Yeah, was literally getting ran by two Tyrones at the same time. Fuck that liberal cunt.
But look, a lot of their situations fell apart. So now they have to go to what Hammerhead said is the censorship. Mm-hmm. Right? They have to call everything hate speech. Even if it's not even vulgar or profane, they have to go in and say, look, this is considered hate speech. And they provide their own definition of it.
Yep. Well, here's the thing, in my situation, I'll be pretty confident saying I'm the most censored person in this live stream.
Yeah.
My plan for 2020, once I get my YouTube deleted, is I'm going to try to get BitChute to get sued by she who should not be named, the CEO of YouTube. Because the first thing I do once I get deleted by YouTube is just make the most brutal, vicious, almost even genocidal roast of that CEO. And Google will have to respond. And if not, I'll just live stream roasting the DNC and they will have to respond.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a war. We're not done.
Be awesome. Oh, we're in it. I mean, there's so many people that just don't understand. We just haven't been pressured enough to understand, most of us anyways, that we are in a war right now.
That's so true. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this election to me is a throwaway. However, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But after that, I'd say after 2020, this is when it's on. I mean, once President Trump enters into his lame duck presidency at the year 3 and he has nothing else to gain, we're going to see something big here in terms of war or whatever it is, whatever this battle is. They're going to put the clamps on in 2024, and hopefully that AOC runs just for entertainment purposes.
This is a great segue because AOC being the commie that she is also going to get brutally roasted by me.
Hey man,
this is great because
I'm gonna get me some fucking white racist cauliflower, and I'm gonna cook it.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, I guess I disagree. I think that the censorship is going to be so heightened before 2020 because this is the last shot.
This is it.
If they don't get this, who knows if Trump actually builds a wall? Who knows what the immigration, demographic status is going to be? The left is so close to winning forever, right? So I think it's going to get. I think it's I'd be surprised if 2 of the people on this live stream are still on YouTube by the time the next election is over.
Well, look what's happening down there at the border. I mean, as far as stateside is concerned, the demographic, Texas is so close to going blue. It's unbelievable. And in Arizona just elected blue. So yeah, that never happened. When California turned blue after Reagan, it never went red again. Never, and it's never going to. It will never go red again. It's never going red again. They can almost cash in the 40 million or whoever it is going to the Democrats.
Exactly.
But the problem is that's why Arizona, Texas, anybody who else has the border issue. This is why they're trying to get them over. I mean, hey, give them free health care, let them vote, send them down there in San Angelo, Texas, or somewhere in Galveston where nobody cares. And then all of a sudden, like you're saying, it flips to a red state. I don't know the last time Texas has ever been red. I mean, blue. I don't know the last time it was the 1970s for like a Division III elector.
Oh.
Okay. So once that happens, I mean, that tilts the scales into whatever this liberal socialist agenda is. I mean, the socialism is the issue.
Sure it is.
That once you bring it in, you can't go back. It's like feminism. These women cannot go backwards. You opened up the can of worms. They're not going back in.
Well, what I would argue is, at least from my perspective, the only thing, the political divide is so bad that the only thing keeping Americans together right now is the fact we participate in the same economy. Unfortunately, for some of us, we pay into this economy solely to support other people who just take the money through the government and walk around. So when I see, I'll be honest to a leftist here, I see an illegal Mexican walking around with welfare food stamps, I see them as a leech. They're coming in and taking my money, making my housing prices go up, making everything for me worse. So some corporate overlords for the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or who it is this time can, fuck another couple kids on the yacht. It's fuck that.
Yeah, but they're the end result. They're the end result of that. They're not the spear point. The spear point is the people that are pulling the fucking levers. They're the ones that are writing the policies that are enabling this kind of action. And they all sit in the White House and in Congress and the Senate.
Yep. But this only matters when our economy is good. I mean, what are we at? 2019. When was the last one? 2007? 2007?
The recession was 2008.
2008, 2009. So, and the one before that was 1993, 94. All right. Going into when Bill Clinton took it.
One.
So that was a small one.
Then 79, 80 was a big one.
So what are we looking at? 15 years? Every 15?
About every 10, 15 years. Yeah.
Okay. So we're coming up. Okay. By the end of the next term, we're looking at, and God forbid anything happens before this election with the economy, but sometime after this election, the economy is going to be problematic.
It's going to be worse than 2008 because 2008, you really had a lot of really shitty loans going to people who didn't understand them. We've all been making fun of social justice warriors with their college degrees. None of the bitches can pay it off.
Nobody.
The student loan bubble.
That's the next.
It's one thing if you're an engineer. Okay, you went so much in debt, you're an engineer, doctor. These people are trained in uselessness.
Hey, have any of you heard of the debt clock?
I don't want to. Please don't inform me.
All right. You might want to close your ears for just a minute.
You talk about it.
Go to debtclock.org and you better be sitting down when it comes up. Because it's going to show you some shit that is going to blow the hair clean off of your head.
Now, listen, I've trained a guy. I have a client who works in the financial industry, and he is not from America. And he basically told me himself, he was like, "This can't sustain itself."
No, we're on the downslope.
Yeah, he's like, "This is going to fall apart."
He works in finance.
Yeah,
and
and not the fear monger,
yeah,
but I apologize for interrupting you.
No,
not the fear monger, but the thing that's coming is going to be worse than the Great Depression. It's going to be worse than the Great Depression. Our bond yields have inverted 3 times this year. That negative equity in the United States of America.
But here's the deal. This is how it relates to the red pill. Because what we're seeing now are women believing that they can do it on their own. They can hold themselves up. They're feminists. They work a job where they make $60,000 a year and they're proud. But when the economy comes down, when those student loans, they start calling for the debt, when China starts saying enough, what are they going to do? And this is where men have to be prepared.
They're going to Venezuela. That's exactly what they're going. Right. Look at what's happening in Venezuela.
Some dick for that money.
Right. They're going to be knocking at your doors. They're going to be saying, look, man, hey, I'll be whatever you want. The marriage law is still what they are. They'll still sell themselves and say, look, I'll do whatever I can for you for a bologna sandwich, whatever.
I'm looking at live feeds from Venezuela from time to time, and these chicks are doing anything under the sun for a couple of cans of cat food.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And they're blowing Colombia out of the water because they don't want to stay in Venezuela. So every bordering country over there is getting crushed. So it's just a domino effect.
Right. And so if any of you guys are on child support, and if you guys are on alimony, they're gonna drag you into the family court immediately. Because a lot of them have jobs that are they don't sustain themselves. These jobs are given for them to push paper around and blow up their job title. Once these jobs go away, your ex-wife, your baby mama, she will be dragging you in the court. So be prepared.
Well, I also think that, if there's this kind of financial collapse, it's the Kickstarter, right? It's what starts the fire. We have all these groups living in close proximity, and this is really the cities I'm talking about, right? If you live in the country middle of nowhere, like Chronic, you're Gucci. You just grow your weed and play with your drones. But if you live in a city, you're next to all these different people who are fighting for their own identity groups. If that economy's down, do you think that the Mexican gangs and the black gangs and Asian gangs in LA are just going to hold hands and wait for the help to come? No, they're going to kill each other.
No, of course they're not. If you want a preview of that kind of action, you only have to look to Katrina.
Yeah, and all those tolerant white liberals who live in the suburbs, not even the suburbs, but the Rust Belt, outside the cities, they're hunters. Do you think they're going to welcome any city dweller into their home? No, they're going to shoot them.
They're going to shoot them. They're going to kill them on sight.
It's just all it takes, and all these prepper channels talk. I don't sound like a prepper, but it's just 2 or 3 days without the power. People lose their fucking minds.
It won't take very long for people to lose it. I mean, like you said, 72 hours a week. People can't even, they're living paycheck to paycheck. What, 61% of people need that next paycheck. Remember when the government, Trump shut down the government? Everybody went nuts. Because they didn't have 6 months of resources stacked up. It's not going to take long. Like my boy was at RPM. Once they turn the lights out, feminism will go out right with it. It is the same. That was one of the best statements that I've heard. It's so simple, but think about it. You turn the lights out, all of a sudden, they'll try to act straight.
Look, I work in the supply chain on a national level, on a national basis.
How fragile was that?
Any trucker will tell you straight up, the people that deliver your food, that deliver car parts, that deliver electricity, that deliver batteries, that deliver medical supplies, any of it is only projected out for 3 days.
3 days. Wow.
Every store that you see around you and that endless supply of food, that endless supply of water or peanut butter or whatever, it will only last 3 days. When shit goes down, it's going to go south in a hurry.
Wow.
So you better be ready for it. Dry foods is a good way. You can get 10 weeks, a year's worth of dry food for probably $400.
Yeah.
Just be ready for it, because we can't keep doing what we're doing. It's just not going to work.
And we need to all make sure that us content creators invest, if we have the resources, in some ham radios, because unlike a local Walmart,
I got mine.
Red pill supply is unlimited. So please, Brudas, subscribe to my ham radio station.
Well,
I've got mine.
You better, because look, they turn off the Wi-Fi and it's just about over. I mean, that's all they got to do. Turn the Wi-Fi off and have. I mean, that's it.
I mean, you see how the thoughts act on Instagram when they jack their accounts,
Right?
Lose it.
You know, they're slitting their throats, man.
Right.
They're dying.
They're done. They're done, and they can't come back. They can't come back to regularness after they go out there and they do that. See, that's the problem.
No, they're done. They're destroyed. They're destroyed human beings. If you make your living on Instagram getting donations from sick ass blue pills, there's no job out here for you.
Yeah,
No,
You ain't gonna take no 9-to-5. It ain't gonna happen.
That's it.
there's no aspiration either, man. Like there's no hope. Like if you were to even ask any of these women what they even want to do with their lives, most of the time you just get, I don't know. I just go with the flow. Basically, I just exist. You know, the shape of my ass will carry me through my life is basically what you get from those women. Like it's kind of miserable, honestly, when you really think about it, just how little substance there is to a lot of these ladies who make their living off on the internet. The moment you take that away, they're nothing. There's this one chick I remember, I don't remember her name, but she's literally crying. There's some video you probably find on the internet. There's someone crying over the fact that she lost her Instagram account. It's like you see it clear as day. What I mean, they are nothing without the accolades and the money that they get from simps on the internet, and it's miserable and sad. You can't even be upset with them. I feel sorry for them. I pity them more than anything else. So.
Yep.
Yeah, but I steer clear of them too.
You got to. You have to, man.
Well, here's the thing. You talk about these Instagram stars, and just another criticism of, I was gonna say the church, but really anybody, any of these people who say that porn is a toxin for men's minds and don't talk about Instagram destroys women's minds and their expectations is a goddamn fool. Instagram has done more damage to the character of women in the past 5 years than fucking, you know what? I think sex dolls will solve it, but these thoughts walk out here on Instagram, used to getting thousands of likes, all that validation, they're addicted to it. Social media brains, the addicts to social media, have similar structural changes in the structures of their brain that mimic, nicotine addiction, what have you. It's ridiculous. No one talks about it. So.
Agreed. Well, we talk about it. We just get called fucking morons and idiots and assholes, and we don't know what we're talking about.
My favorite insult is whenever someone calls me an incel. I just think that's sometimes
it's pretty funny, ain't it?
I tell
that's
people
pretty common.
Someday I feel like I could be fucking a dude's wife in front of him, and as I'm walking out the door, he calls me an incel. I feel like
stupid incel.
It's like, you're an incel. You didn't kiss her after you creamed her. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, but I mean, when they say it, they don't. All they're trying to say is they're trying to get a reaction out of you. It's not like, you're an incel. Here's the proof. They just say, "Oh, you're an incel." Ha ha ha. I mean, it's like,
they don't even really know.
There's no weight to that. I don't.
Oh yeah. The problem is there's no way to prove someone's been fucked or not. But you guys know I prowse the Reddit and just trigger people. I just been proactively. I'm making nicknames. I call them the Bernie Bro Incel Squad. And whenever I make a comment anywhere, I say these Bernie Bro incels are just going. These people go nuts because it's true. They're projecting it, right? They call you incel because they're incel male feminists, incel Bernie Bros, what have you. And it's funny because all the girls I just ruthlessly smashed in college, almost all of them were Bernie girls, and they all had the little beta orbiters who would see me jump from one of their friends to another. They saw me playing these bitches like a goddamn xylophone, and little dicks in their pants. They don't know what to do. It's so fucking funny.
That's so sad. It's so sad. Hey, let me tell you a story. It kind of gets you ready for what's coming with that 29 crash, man.
Okay.
Back in the late 80s, very late 80s, like 89, up through the middle 90s, I was pen paling with a Ukrainian woman. This was before Hammerhand put his bottle of blue pills down. And she was a well-to-do woman. And back then,
They really wanted to find ways. They wanted visas to get out of the Ukraine, to get out of the former Soviet Union. You know, the wall came down in 89 and Glasnost happened. It swept over Russia. It swept over all of those little sub-states that used to be part of the Soviet Union. When I got a hold of this woman and I started pen paling with her, and she got pretty in-depth about stuff. She said she worked for the state. Her housing and her food were taken care of, and her medical for her daughter, but she hadn't received a paycheck in 5 years.
That's what they want.
That's what's coming.
That's what they
what's
want.
Coming.
Listen, they would be satisfied with that.
Yeah,
I mean, just listen to them. They cheer for $1,000. Or we're going to give everybody $1,000 rebate just for nothing. All right, they want that. They want money.
This woman was considered well-to-do.
Right? Yeah,
she was considered well-to-do.
Well-to-do.
Yeah,
you know, honestly, they want that.
I'll tell you the truth. That $1,000 stipend, there is a part of me that wants it because all I see is my money going to these useless hoes. Give my boys some of this cash. I mean, I honestly don't think the system's going to get saved. So before it goes out, let me get a K a month to blow on some bottles at the club with Hamster.
Well, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something more than that, man, because this, like I said, I'm not a doomsayer, but you just have to look at that debt clock to barely comprehend how bad it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just suggest everybody learns to grow some food, learn some skills, get something to be useful, learn some medicine, you know, just fucking.
Yep.
Don't, or you could just print out memes from 4chan and laminate them and just have binders and binders of memes. And during the apocalypse, when all the zombies are running outside, you're like an old dude with a beard, and you just look at the memes before you die. And then you can have a glorious death. And you can take a stand.
Oh, God.
You can't be serious with me. All my videos are put under the comedy label. I thought it would be my shield to be a comedian. That just didn't work. I still got censored.
Well, you're quick on your wit. You're quick-witted, so that's good. I mean, but for some reason they can't handle truth mixed with comedy.
Yeah. Well, you know, it again gets back to the thing where I can't insult someone.
Right. That's the issue.
Supporting communism, but somebody can preach communism on the internet. That's the standard we're working on right now.
But that's what we're dealing with. Hammerhand talked about that. The censorship issue is a big one. That's the only way they see, you know, them getting the White House, getting Trump out, because they know the silent minority. That was the silent majority who weren't speaking before the 2016 election. They're now speaking.
Yep.
And they're spreading that word, and they cannot stand that. They can't stand it. So the only way you're seeing these people, their channels go down only because this election is coming up. That's it.
Right. You got it right. They have in their minds, they have identified social media as the cause of the loss of the election.
It was the cause. Yep. They're like, okay, we can't let this happen.
It's not really the truth. It's part of it. But the fact of the matter is you can only get stepped on your neck so many times, you know.
Man, no, listen. I don't think it was. I mean, you could blame social media, but if you look at the election results, the states that Trump won were in Kansas and Iowa. I mean, not places where social media is I mean,
well, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere,
but there's just no real populace out there.
These people weren't listening to people on social media. They were going with their heart. They were going, we can't let Hillary win. Mm-hmm. It was the reason why black people, you know, if you talk about the black vote, they looked at Hillary. We cannot trust this woman. Okay.
Yep.
We can't have this woman in the office. The black vote, they got, you know, what the Democrats need. And I don't get political on my channel, but what they need is 91% plus of the black vote.
Yep.
If it dips below 91%, they lose. And that's what they got. So now what they're saying is, we've lost the black vote. They don't care. How many people brought up black issues? I mean, the one author did, talking about reparations, the crazy lady, Marion, whoever her name was, but nobody brought up issues about the black vote or issues with the black community. What are they talking about? They said, forget black people now.
Yeah.
They've dipped below the 91%. We can't get it back. Mm-hmm. Who do we need to focus on now? Illegal immigration.
The Hispanics. And that's it. You got a situation where the demographics of the states as is right now is going to be Hispanic, right? speaking Spanish, if it keeps on going, whatever. The black community, right? Some Republicans think they're stupid, and some Democrats think they're easily controlled, but they're not thinking about them as individuals. As with everybody else, certain individuals will rise above and think, wow, if more Mexicans illegally immigrate into the U.S., us as black people, our position, how much housing costs, our value of our labor is going to shoot down. Maybe we shouldn't let these people just come and take advantage of this economy that my ancestors unwillingly were brought here to be slaves for. Let's protect their sacrifice. But they keep voting for the Democrats. Some of them are starting to realize the game, right? But it's going to devolve into a situation where all these different identity groups are going to be fighting each other.
It's already there.
I just, it's like, as someone who's just more concerned about whether someone is red pilled or not, than if they're black or white. Because I'll tell you right now, the most disgusting thing I've ever seen is a fucking white soy boy. I just can't stand them. They're the people I roast the most viciously. I have no regrets. If I go out just roasting some little white fucking 2% milk looking bitch, I would be happy. I'd die a happy man.
Well, they cause the majority of damage. I said this week on my channel. I said, what would women do? I mean, they need soy boys. They need male feminists to carry out their deal. They can't form an army. Like, women always, we want this, we want that. They are always asking us to change what we do in order to benefit them. Now, they don't have an army. They don't have an Air Force, a Marine. They can't kick us in the knee. They can't body slam us. So what do they need? They need the white knight. They need the mangina simp. They need the blue pill guy. They need the soy boy to carry out their will.
Got it.
And the minute men stand up for themselves, they want to silence us. They quiet us. No, don't say that.
Yep.
That's the only way they get things accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Well,
hey, Hamster, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man.
No.
If you can get Success Pool Endeavors a wrench, that would be awesome.
I'll work on that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And happy birthday again.
Enjoying his birthday right now. He's just leaning back, having a good time.
I got you, man. Just I would like to get that man a wrench.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get everything. We'll get everything sorted out. But it's interesting to make the point of women always demanding men to change things. They're always saying, we finally have X or, Y or Z. Well, I think it's so funny. It's just great. I just have so much joy roasting some of these soy boys is that what they'll do is they'll just like flash a little bit of puñada to get their attention. And those simps are hooked. Right. So they think I'm a good person. I'm not a misogynist. Therefore, I'm going to vote Democrat because my wife told me to. It's absurd. These guys don't think for themselves. They're actually only thinking with their dick. And it's funny because these guys who do that, they don't get a lot of pussy. Their whole life is just serving to try to prove that they're not a misogynist. Exactly.
This is what they've been molded into since first grade.
Right.
If they're one of the lucky few that weren't being taken to a doctor and being doped up, then they saw what was happening to everybody else and they just conformed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder what I think the best way to, at least in high school, influence, to put a positive influence is to be a coach. That's just why. And I know Coach Greg was a coach. All these other people saying they're coaches, we're not actually coaches.
They ain't fucking coaches.
My man here actually a coach. So I respect that.
I remember a couple people when I first started the channel, I was like, should I change my name? Because I too get it. Like if I see somebody's name with coach on it, I'm not going to listen to them. But I'm glad the brothers, listened to me and he gave me a chance. But my channel was named Coach Greg Adams before I was making mix. I was putting basketball videos up.
Yeah, that's true.
Before I even got into making red pill content. So, right now it's just too late to change the name by this point. But my background comes from working with people and coaching them. That's why my name is Coach. Just so if anybody wondered.
That's what you're known as. I mean, I wouldn't change anything. That's what you're known as. It's very identifiable inside this sphere.
Yep. It's just, we need to put more positive influences out, but it's so hard because as a young man, I mean, everybody remembers when they were a teenager. When I was 15, there was one thing on my mind, and the Lord would not be appreciative of it. It was trying to get a taste of that sweet, sweet puñada. And I was, you're just dead set. So how do you influence someone who's just, a young man who's just so aggressive?
Take him to family court.
Yeah, well, take your 15-year-old boy to family court after he impregnated fucking like 8 girls at the pool. Who knows, dude?
I'm serious. Take him to family court. I mean, if you got your shit straightened out a little bit and you're not a total train wreck, take them to family court and watch all of these men that are being rifled through there.
And now, but I mean, I've been to family court so many times, they won't even let you in the door. They'll let you go into what I tell guys. They won't let you into the room unless your case is being heard. But I just sit in the hallway. Just sit in the hallway.
Do you know? Oh yeah, you'll see them. You can get off the elevator and just go look. There's one woman there, a bailiff, and then there's 50 men on all the benches.
Yep. Just sitting there. I'm like, look at this guy right here. And across the hall is his ex, and she's dragging his ass here. And this is not the first time he's here.
Do you want to know why they only let one person in at a time? I'll tell you why, because I came from a little bit of a hunting background. You never slaughter an animal in front of other animals, right?
Right.
Because the other ones will get scared and run. You gotta take them somewhere. Oh, I'm serious. You gotta separate them. Now, unless you're in some factory, they're close by. Most people don't fucking work in a factory farm. If you have your own, livestock, you don't kill a pig in front of its friends. You don't destroy a man's life in front of another man.
Right.
And that's what they were doing for so long. But now we know we've been
talking out, man. People are speaking, and as a matter of fact, my ex took extreme measures to silence me. I would talk about the case, around the kids, just so they know, hey, look, this is what's going on. I would love to provide better for you, but I'm being clamped down. $500 an hour for these attorneys. Now I'm speaking on YouTube, and she went and took me into court because I was speaking about it on YouTube. Yep. She was assuming that the judge was going to come down on me. Now, my judge is a female judge. However, she threw the case right back at my wife or my ex-wife because at some point she knows she's vindictive, and I actually got full custody at some point because of her vindictiveness. So my judge has no respect for my ex-wife. So she threw the case right back at her, and I continue to make videos as a result.
Well, outstanding.
Question: did you service her honor as a thank you for this reward?
No, at some point, hopefully this continues to go on. I'm able to be on this platform. At some point, I will let her know that because of your efforts, many men have been able to hear what type of woman you are and hold you up, because you are not the only one. Yep. Many men have dealt with this, and they come onto the channel all the time, and they say the exact same thing happened to them, but they're not able to talk freely. I'm able to talk freely. I know nothing's going to happen to me in terms of any legal repercussions, but most men aren't able to talk as free as we are. But we serve for them. And thank you for my ex-wife. Thanks for taking me to court. Thanks for taking me to all of those. Thanks for costing me $60,000. Thanks for taking me to child support court. All of that stuff, because all of this helps everybody else.
Yeah, it cost me $49,000. So yeah, it's there, gents. That little tickle, that little twinge, that little idea that you've got in the back of your mind, maybe she's the one. Go find Chronic, go get smoked up, and let that shit go.
That's right. A lot of red people get in that red pill rage, and it's so hard to get out of it. I got out of it through the gym, right? That's why I preach about it so much, right? Like I sound like one of those gym managers who's like, yeah, you should join for 6 months. I'll waive your initiation fee and your, living fee. Be there. There's a $20 fee if you fucking use oxygen in here. I'll waive it for you, bro. Just get your dad to sign up too. I talk about the gym, but what I put out is comedy. I always said, if I could make one man's life who's suffering for some bullshit a little bit easier, maybe even driving back on your boring ass commute, just get a couple laughs in. That's the point. That's why I do what I do, because I enjoy roasting these piglets, and I know my boys enjoy the pulled pork.
The pulled pork. It's all good, man. We appreciate what you do, man. It's always funny to hear. I don't know if you're able to be able to do these response videos anymore. I don't know if that was the issue of you got taken down, but
yeah, but it wasn't copyright. I don't know what's going on with the channel.
What it was is you just can't be so ruthless. Now, right now, I have all my old response videos up on YouTube. So it's either someone's just flagging me or they just get offended. But the plan is I'm going to take down all the response videos off my channel, all the old stuff. It's already on BitChute. And I'm going to make new response videos on BitChute and just post a link in my community tab so you boys can see me go in, right? But for
Trust
YouTube,
me, gentlemen, they'll follow.
Yeah, but for YouTube, I'm going to stick probably to news stuff. I really want to do 2020. I'm just super, I don't watch football anymore because it's not on. And the Atlanta Falcons just suck their own dicks at the Super Bowl. And, politics is like WWE. I just want to roast Kamala Harris over a girl for 3 hours on BitChute and, see if we can make her actually black or not.
It's going to be fucking rough, bud. That's going to be a rough one.
It is, but I enjoy the stuff on YouTube. I can respond to Reddit articles and ridiculous stories and other things. We can still make jokes, have fun, but the response videos can just be so brutal sometimes that, even though I say it's comedy and, it's censorship. We've been talking about all night.
But there's a great deal of truth in comedy, isn't there?
It is. The funniest stuff comes from truth. So,
and they know that. They sense that shit. They sense that you're just trying to cover up what an embarrassing piece of shit they are. Pardon my language, but with a smile and a wink, they know what's going on.
Absolutely. Do they really know? I mean, do they? I mean, we know. Not. We could see the train wreck. We see what's going on. Do they think that they're fooling us? That they really don't know?
No. Here's what it is. They don't have the same viewpoint as us. We're at a war. The army of social justice, they worship the religion. This is what I say. The left worships the religion of social justice. And when Anita Sarkeesian, I think it was, went to the UN and said, everything is sexist, everything is racist, and we have to call it all out, it was the equivalent of Pope Urban II calling the Knights of Europe on a crusade. They are on a religious war. We need to fight them. We need to form the shield wall and tell these feminist hoglets, no, you are not going to touch my wallet, okay? MGTOW, men guarding their own wallet. Or for me, men growing their own weed. We're all here together.
Agreed.
And the more we do this, the more content that we put out, we reach new people all the time. I mean, and we all do it in a different way, but we're all doing the same thing for the same purpose. At the end of the day, we're all trying to do the same thing. That's why sometimes I see people beefing with other people. I'm like, we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's other people that are going to come behind us that are going to do it better than us, but it's going to be because of us, because of what we did, that they were able to do what they were, that they're going to do. So there's going to be somebody bigger, better, badder, with a better voice, better background theatrics than I have, whatever. All right. They're going to come along, but it was because they heard what we said and they saw what happened to people like Undead, that they're going to come along and make a better change than what we've been able to do.
Let me ask you something,
that's a great point, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, my friend.
No, I was complimenting him. It's a really great perspective.
It is. It's a great point. Let me ask you something, Coach.
Yeah.
Do you think that roasting people is a necessity? I think that it is, especially when you have. We were talking about this earlier, where this chick, her name is Marnie, your wing girl is the name of her channel. She's got 500,000 subs, and she pulled on the absolute worst representative of MGTOW. This guy's not even a MGTOW. Do you think it's necessary to rebuff that?
Yeah, I mean, it takes the right person that can do it well. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, but somebody like Undead could do it in a way that it could be funny, but there could be somebody that could do it. I just don't specialize in that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a need to respond to it. They're not going to bring the strongest person in.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to bring you in. They're not going to bring me in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Agree. I agree with you 100%. Great answer.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, a positive about censorship. You say we reach new men every day. Every single time I started a new channel, I would try to put my old content back up. And I'll tell you what, the worst part and I know everybody here can understand this, of growing a channel is from 100 subs to 1,000 subs.
That's tough.
That shit takes forever.
It's tough.
That's
Right.
so hard, right?
Right.
Every single time I did it, I would get at least 100 of my subs, and they would like and comment, and just, they're using all 3 fingers on that YouTube algorithm punyada at the same time, just screaming. We would get new people coming to the Red Pill, and I would get new fans, new people telling me that they got Red Pill because of me every time I'd start a new channel. It's like, maybe I wouldn't have reached those people.
That's true.
If I didn't have to repost all my shit.
That's true.
Hey man, my channel. This is something that maybe you can speak on, Chronic. Maybe you too, Coach. When we speak to the fear that exists in men speaking out or even watching this content, I've only got. I hit my sub count, but I'm around 12,000 subs right now. But you know what my weekly looks are?
Right.
Almost 100,000.
That's funny that you bring that up, because I recently, when I went over 50,000, I looked and I said, but there's 6.5 million views. And I thought about that for a second. I said,
right.
Why is the channel been viewed 6.5 million and I only have 50,000? Now, I'm not trying to say I want more, but when you think about that the channel's being viewed way more than they are subs, what we need to celebrate is the views.
Right.
Exactly. Fair enough. Yeah.
People, not the subs. The subs are the people who come and support, and
right. They're your regulars at the bar at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, there are people watching us that aren't registering as subscribers. There's people that are watching from the back end, figuring out, I'm gonna go watch this guy. I'm gonna watch Hammerhand. I'm gonna watch Undead, but because I'm getting it, but I just don't want to put myself out there as a committed person, for whatever the cause is. So we're being watched. Because I looked at it, I said, wait, 6.5 million, that doesn't translate to 50,000.
No.
Yeah.
Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Somebody had 6.5 million views and they have 500,000 subscribers. You know what I mean?
Well, I can talk about this outreach.
The idea that, what's that?
No, go ahead. Finish.
What's that, Undead?
No, it's all right. You go ahead. I'll talk after you, man.
Yeah, no, the idea sometimes we get caught up in the sub count thing and we celebrate it and some, but at the end of the day, like Undead said, people watch us for the first time and they hear what we're talking about, and to me, their mind is blown. But to me, it's not. This is what we deal with every day. Mm-hmm. But for the new person, for the blue pill man who stumble upon our channels and they're listening to men speak freely without the mask or the fear of women coming down on them, their mind is blown. Really, there's only about 10% of us out there. The rest of the 90% of men are out here. They're lost.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
They're dealing with women on the way that they believe that they're going to get some more peace leave or whatever they're going to get.
Yep. Well,
so we are having an effect on people. They're just not registering. So
yeah. And I
keep doing what you're doing.
I can make a comment on this outreach stuff. The sub count is people like it because it's always there, and you could show it to people, and you go, I got this many subs. But for the views, the span of my biggest channel between 20 and 30K, because I was putting out so much content and just reaching so many people who weren't subscribed, I was pulling in, like 1.5 million views a month. I was looking at that. I was like, man, I could just step away from the job this upcoming summer, sell ads, and do this whole time. Of course, that didn't pan out because I lost the channel, but just the millions of people who we are all affecting. We're like red pill prophets out here. I'll tell you right now. I keep on telling people I'll make red pill commandments. I was like, someone else has to write I'll do the first one, the most important one. The first commandment of red pill. The wall is undefeated. Millennia has passed, and not a single female biological organism has kept fertility her entire life.
But what else does it tell you, though? What else does it tell you? You know that we're being suppressed. You know that the numbers are being manipulated. People are being unsubbed. I know people are being unsubbed from my channel.
Yep.
And I know views are being deleted from my channel.
Yes.
So the ultimate takeaway is that it tells you that people in bulk are searching out
MGTOW.
That's true. That is true.
They're looking for it.
That is true, because we'll put out a video. Some of you guys know this. You'll see it. The first hour, 3,000 views. The rest of the day, 8,000. I mean, you're like, wait a minute. How did it take off so fast? And all of a sudden, it just declined. I can't remember. I think Shikama or somebody else did a video talking about that, how the views were being suppressed. You got a great peak, and then all of a sudden, and they admitted, YouTube even admitted that
they did.
They admitted that this is one of their strategies to prevent a video from going viral or spreading. They suppress the views.
They are always messing with him.
Yeah. I mean, he has almost 70,000 subscribers, and his view counts are very low. And
that's
I'm like,
one thing that they don't want to hear. Them liberals are fucked up. They do not want to hear a black man on the other side of that divide.
Right. I mean, it just hurts them. So, I mean, that's just the nature of what we do. I mean, we should expect that. The reality is what we should do. I mean, I don't think we should focus on it, because we can't do anything about that.
True.
As long as they have the platform, we have the platform, we can continue to do what we do. And like Undead said, there's people coming in every single day listening to us that are brand new to what we do. And we have to remember that. Even if you're a hardcore MGTOW monk, even if you're a hardcore guy, and you're like, why does he keep talking about this? Why is Coach keep talking about this thing? You know, we already heard it. We got it. Well, the reality is some of us came in yesterday and some of us came in 5 years ago. If Big John, I can't remember who it was I used to listen to all the time. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing. So we have to keep these new people in mind. There's new people watching us all the time.
I'll tell you what, it's important to encourage these young channels. The first channel I made, you know, I was fucking around. I had like 200 subs. I roasted a couple cucks, and then I got a viral video. It was, I roasted some Asian thought. Great. I love that one, right? Anyhow, I encouraged J-Dog MGTOW and Hercules MGTOW to make their own channels, and they got videos with almost 1 million. Hercules' video roasting the same topic, I think, almost has 1 million views, right? Wow. I remember that. I was like, I almost had 1 million on that. And then he almost had 1 million. I'm like, pass the torch on to my brother. We need to make sure we encourage these young content creators. And hopefully, before I get booted off YouTube, I can do like a 20-minute video just showing people how to download OBS and use like a video editing program and just make it response video. Because making a response video, once you know the buttons to click, it's not, you don't have to get a fucking technical.
It's easy, man. It's 3 clicks, you know.
It's the biggest hurdle for people to go into YouTube is if you're either shy or you don't know how to work computers, and you just stay away from it. But you can still succeed.
Yeah.
And it really is a shame that YouTubers aren't standing up for each other, because I always supported other YouTubers in terms of I want everybody to get monetized. I want everybody to make money, and I don't want anybody doing any dumb shit to each other on YouTube, right? So I would support, I used to be, I don't care if communist stuff gets monetized. We should all fight together because we're fighting these big corporations. Now I'm like, demonetize every single person. I don't care, because I am being discriminated against. I am the victim in the situation. I'm going to pack up my bags. I'll move to BitChute. And you guys ever seen like those pizza ovens where they have like the big ass broom handle to put a pizza in? I am just throwing gasoline in a pizza oven, and I got the Democratic candidates lined up like little pizza dough, little breadsticks. Yeah, don't worry, I'll make the Kamala breadstick appropriate, and I'm gonna throw them all in and roast their asses.
Oh God. I watched as much as I could of that garbage. I watched Mark Dice's recaps on that stuff because I can't stomach it all. But man, it was a train wreck.
It was, it's a lot. There's so much material. I have so much material. I'll tell you right. I'll tell a quote so Coach can respond to it. There was a Democratic candidate. I don't remember his name, but he interjected and said, "We need to be able to have government-funded abortions for trans women."
For what? Who? What women?
Fucking trans women.
Oh my God!
Wait, what even is that though? How would that even be
A
possible?
trans woman, okay, a
Because
trans
he's a fucking idiot. That's how it's
I
possible.
mean, he's just trying to grab everything. He's trying to grab everything at once.
all the
He's trying to be
He missed black trans women. You know, he forgot to put in everything.
these Democratic candidates go to these debates and they're like Vegas gambling addicts trying to, you know, trigger the right identity group to get all those victim points. So like, let's just flip the switch. And I'll tell you what, the best like example, I'll put this on my channel. There's a guy who did a little skit. Is like, how does Vice choose its news articles? It's this dude. He throws his rubber dildo at the wall. It lands on like choose a country, Venezuela. And then like lands on a drug and then transsexual. And it's just these people, dude.
Oh yeah, the transsexual drug lord meme. That was good.
It was the transsexual drug dealers of Venezuela. I was just like, okay.
That was hilarious.
But these people they're trying to appeal for that identity group. So they say they want to fund abortions for transsexual women. That is the point. They're saying that on national television.
Wow. I missed that one. I missed it. I only saw the second debate, so I didn't see the first. I mean, that must have came from the first debate.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I might make a video, like a political ad supporting that and do it as a joke. Like, we support the right for trans women to have government-funded abortions. You have been oppressed for too long. Have you had a rather large Chipotle burrito bowl recently, trans woman? If you need to have the leftovers aborted, you should have the government pay for that. So that the response would be, you know, we will fund toilet paper for maybe like 20 days for like that's one abortion, whatever. You know,
they would nuke your channel so fast you wouldn't know what happened.
It would be worth. I'd go on a blaze of glory. It'd be great.
Well, the big thing is, I know for some of the guys, I would say Undead, you've been treated fairly. There's a lot of people that were victimized by the censorship button, but we got to continue to support, you know, the guys that are coming out here saying whatever they're saying, because we know that at some point they could be the next person.
Yep.
And if they succumb and they don't continue to fight and put out content, at some point we're going to be obsolete, because sometimes it's tough. You lose your channel, you can't get everybody back. Not everybody's going to search out and seek you out again.
Well, no, I mean, look at us. If I go down, everybody knows my name. When Chronic goes down, everybody knows his name. Can you imagine how many thousands of 100 sub, 200 sub channels are just gone?
Yep.
Yeah, that we don't even know. Yeah, we have no clue.
Yeah,
we don't even know.
I always support them joining my Discord server. I give them their own rank, and then they could chill in the general chat, you know, whatever, so they can stay with the community. We need to build these communities of content creators outside, because if it's just Undead Chronic has his own website, that's going to die. If it's just TFM has its own thing, that's going to die. But if it's like Undead Chronic has an alliance with these 3 other people and like 3 other channels that all have their own little taste, I'll tell you what that is. That's a whole network. That's an entertainment network. That's like you're paying for a Netflix subscription.
That's true. I mean, actually, that's a good idea. That's actually a good idea, because that's the one thing that we don't have.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all these content providers onto my Discord. I get a bot, and there's its own little channel called, I think it's Red Pill Network, and it just posts I have it. So whenever I want to see Red Pill material, I go to that I don't go to fucking YouTube. I go to that Discord, and I see all these people who are posting. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So we get, 20 subs. If you make content, you are welcome in the warband. I'll have Thought Patrol throw up the invite to it a couple of times. You can do it. I'll chat.
Also give them a chance to practice their craft.
Right.
So if they were shy, if they weren't computer savvy, you got plenty of time to make mistakes there and kind of beef up a little bit before you actually start making your videos, making your content. And, you can get out there when you feel like you get swollen enough, you can get out there and start taking your lumps.
That's true. I mean, when people ask me about how to get their channel going, I'm like, just record, make your mistakes early, because people don't see my early stuff. Even the new people that subscribe, they don't go all the way back. Let's see what he was talking about a year ago. Nobody does that. So at the time, you're actually putting out, you're actually learning on the job. And by the time people join in, they'll see you in your rhythm or whatever personality or whatever catchphrases, whatever artwork, whatever it is, they'll see you when you blow up. But don't think you're going to come in with everything set how you're going to be when you first start recording. Just hit the record button, start recording, then edit. I mean, I edited a lot. I used to edit videos. I would have 30 edits in one video because it was so shitty. I'm cutting there, skipping there. Yeah, and so now I can breeze through it. Maybe one or two
ahs, and yeahs, man. They gotta go.
Gotta go. You gotta get that. If you get that stuff out, people will think you're a genius. They'll be like, "Oh, you talk so well," but all you did was just edit it out, what you were talking about.
Yeah, so, I think with practice, you'll eventually get the hang of it. At least with me, it took me a lot of practice with like speaking publicly and whatnot. But eventually, I was able to get to a point where I can just literally talk for 20 minutes straight without making a single edit.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, you get good. You get good. I'll tell you what. All my response videos, every single one, maybe one or two. This is what I do. I find a video. I'm like, this looks pretty offensive. This is pretty gross. That chick's at least 300 pounds. I listen to about a minute. I'm like, oh, that's offensive. This is funny. I think I'm like, okay, yep, I can roast it. I hit the joint and I just fly. I just record it. Right? Listen to my response videos. All those jokes, none of them are written. I'm dead serious.
I used to think that some of this stuff I used to think you talk from a script. I was like, this stuff is scripted. I was like, how does he have that much time to script this?
I'll tell you what, my best roast was my Yogi Oz roast. That was scripted because I was like, I need to make sure I finish this fight in one punch, right? But all the response videos, I'm the dude in the action movie that's bleeding out. I just take the blunt and I get a machine gun. I'm just walking out there. I'll tell you what, I do friendly fire sometimes. Sometimes I end up roasting dudes who are Red Pill content creators. I think I did that to Coach Red Pill. I don't know, but I ruthlessly roasted some poor dude that, it was, friendly fire. But anyhow, you can do it. And even if you just practice at that, you'll get better. You'll find just look at your view counts.
You'll find your rhythm, man. Just stay true to yourself,
Just if you want to build up the views, do that. And then people will join for who you are and do it, right?
That's right.
And you'll be more authentic.
You will attract a unique audience.
That's true. Every one of us has some kind of overlap of people, but some of us have people that only deal with us because we can translate better. So you will find that group of people will find you. But if you don't start, that's my big thing. If you don't start, it'll never happen. And some of you guys have a lot to say. There's some young guys that are 15, 20. That group is missing from content creator, or at least as far as I know, because I don't reach back and look at that particular group. But say somebody 15 to 22 actually put some stuff out that is Red Pill or MGTOW. That dynamic, that group is missing. A group of those guys are missing.
There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there. I've seen quite a few of them. But as far as interacting with them, man, if they're not 18, I just can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Can't do it.
They're not 18. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want a 15-year-old guy.
But I'll tell you what it is. If it's a kid under 18, they should not be on YouTube. They shouldn't.
I agree.
You should not have if you have your own channel and it's just gaming or whatever, okay, cool. Talking about politics is not something children should do. You should not talk about politics as a child because you might say something you'll regret. And 30 years from now, you'll look back and be like, wow,
it's going to be there.
And it'll be there.
Yep. Yeah. All the opportunities I missed out on because I said some dumb shit.
I mean, look at this kid Soph that they've been going in on here, trying to get her, ripped off of YouTube. I don't know if she's actually been torn down or not.
Who's that kid? What's her name?
Soph, SOPH, a brilliant young girl. And she clearly leans to the right. And she writes this stuff with a male friend of hers about the same age. She's 14 years old. And national fucking newspapers just wrote hit pieces on her a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, she shouldn't be on YouTube. I'll be honest with you.
That shouldn't be happening. I understand that the parents want her to have her freedoms, and that's cool and everything. But in 25 years, this is going to be right on her doorstep.
I mean, I'll tell you what's worse than that. She lives in Europe. Am I right?
I don't know. I thought she was stateside.
No, regardless, she's making public videos as a child against Islam. What do you think radical Muslims are going to do? They're going to put her on a fucking hit list. Okay.
Yeah, no, she's way too advanced for her age.
She's young. I mean, she looks like she's 9. So
how old is she?
She's 14.
She's 14.
I thought she was 9. I thought young. Or even still, I don't really think I don't know. 14 is a lot better than what I thought she was.
Yeah,
But
she's 14, but she started back when she's had the channel for like 2 years. But
yeah,
even
so
in that short a time, she's over 1 million subs.
Yeah.
no, she's just at 100. Well, 990, 990K.
She's knocking on the door.
Yeah, man, it's like a million subs, and
But
they don't
she got
want no
17 million
Christian
views.
conservative rightist in that position. They don't want that.
Indeed, they don't. They don't. Oh man, I'm telling you right now. I'm just thinking of all these people on YouTube who are celebrating my censorship. You know, just,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because you suck.
it's especially. I mean, some guy was just talking shit. He's like, no one knows you. You got fucking 2K subs. I'm like, he's right.
You never know who you're talking to, man. I mean, you don't know who's been ripped down. You have no idea. You don't know what kind of numbers are being played with.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. When I see Yogi Soyabs celebrating the fact I got censored, it's making me think of a video I'm going to use like a suicide vest to get this last channel kicked off of YouTube, and Yogi is going straight into your soy field.
That guy, he is something else. You know that motherfucker is still subscribed to my channel?
No shit.
No shit. He is my biggest subscriber on my channel, count wise.
Wow.
Dude, I think my biggest one, I had 2 or 3 dudes who would make beats for a bunch of Spotify or, SoundCloud rappers. They had like 400,000 subs. They just like my red pill. They like my roasts. They weren't even political. Like, dude, your roasts are legit. And that's like the unique audience you can build. I have a lot of women in my audience because they may not agree with some of the things I say, but they do love to see a good roasting. And so if you're my fan, I'm your fan. Right. So you got to have that perspective, and you get a positive community. They'll support you. It's a good time. But Yogi's community.
Well, I remember Yogi not too long ago was celebrating 50,000 subs, and then
we fucked up.
And then now he's sitting at 53, and I'm like, what happened?
That got fucked up pretty good.
He messed his game up. He got too ahead of himself. You know what I mean? Like,
the best part.
I'm like, what happened? But
the best part about that 50K subs thing.
Go ahead.
So before I gave my penultimate roast, my magnus opus, my best work, roasting him, he had a 50K sub Q&A video, right?
I saw that.
I roasted him so hard.
Yeah, right.
He went down to 49K, and then when he got to 50K, he was dumb enough to make another 50K Q&A. So he has 2 50K Q&As after we roasted him.
He went backwards and stalled. I mean, he's gone backwards and stalled. I don't think he recovered from what. I don't know what happened, but he went and took shots at MGTOW and all of that stuff. It was just a bad timing for him.
As people were listening to him, he rode in on the back of MGTOW and Red Pill content.
Yeah,
that's what he did. He made videos talking about how he's going MGTOW, the girl that sent me to MGTOW.
Right.
And then he fucking crawfishes and just tries to slay everybody on the way out the door.
Yeah,
I don't understand why these people. If you had a change of heart, I'm all for you. Go have your change of heart, and I'll see you down the road somewhere. Why do you have to try to trip me on the way out the door?
Right. Yeah.
I don't get
pretty
it.
much the hand that feeds you, I would say.
Right.
Like you can't write the title of MGTOW and then besmirch MGTOW like because your feelings got hurt because they said something you didn't like.
I mean,
it's one thing to disagree. It's another thing to disavow large groups of people that brought you up. Like that's the thing that kills me about Yogi is the fact that, these are the people that gave him the platform to speak on to begin with. And then he pretty much just, bites the hand. Like I said, that old idiom. And it's like, no, man, you guys all kind of suck. You guys are incels. You guys are all mistow. Men sent your own way. Right. It's like, dude, again, it's one thing to disagree with people. I'm not saying you have to always kowtow to your audience. But you can't besmirch these people and mistreat them because, someone said something that hurt your feelings or your ego got hurt in some particular way. I think that's what really pissed me off about him the most. The fact that he couldn't just leave gracefully. It had to be, you guys are missed out. You guys suck. You guys are all this. It's like, come on, dude.
I mean, what's so wrong with just saying, I've had a change of heart? my life is going to go in a different direction. Yeah, you might get a couple of guys that are like, oh, fuck you, bitch, you're a sellout. Oh, I knew it. You know, you might get that, but it's not going to be nearly the reaction that you get when you try to cut motherfuckers' throats.
Right.
Yep. I mean, I did it, right? I used to do just MGTOW response videos. And then I
remember that, yeah.
Why would I do MGTOW response videos if I'm not actually MGTOW, right? I made a video. I'm not MGTOW. I'm Red Pill. And I got a lot of hate, but, you know, I was like, honestly, I was respectful. I'm like, I'm not really going to just diss MGTOW because I believe in most of the tenets of it, right? I'm going to defend it. So I make a lot of videos defending the shit. But Yogi, it's just...
No, see, that's different. I mean, he crapped on everybody.
Well,
I mean, because he was basically taking what MGTOW people say and claiming it as his own.
Yeah.
And then the next damn week, he doubled back and stabbed everybody. It was like, I mean, it was just unprecedented. Nobody has ever done it. Nobody has ever done it that way. And I've never seen the channel stall as his.
But did you see the horror show that happened after he did that?
No, I unsubbed right away. I mean, I was done.
Oh man, it was ugly.
Let me tell you this real quick, Adams. So after Yogi decided to backstab MGTOW, and after I roasted him so ruthlessly, he had a live stream with a 17-year-old female with
I remember that.
I heard about that on your channel.
Certain things, right? But this is what makes it all worth it, right? All the censorship. My most glorious victory ever was when I walked up to Yogi Yoabs, and this is what happened. I walked up, we had our boys, and there were 3 other YouTubers who talked some mad shit and were supporting Yogi, and this is what happened to them. One of them got cucked out of existence. You want to talk about stall channel? This dude has hundreds of thousands of subs. Barely, I've never seen a video of his break 10K views in the last year. Another dude, we made peace, and another dude just honestly just disappeared. But here's the thing: we slapped them all down. We won the war. We had a victory parade. It was probably the best part of my channel ever so far.
Didn't that lead to the formation of the war band?
It did. I announced the war band. I changed the Discord name, and we got all the generals in.
All right, guys, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, man.
He's smoked.
He's ready to go to bed.
Hell yes, I'm smoking. I gotta go to bed, man. So,
all right, brothers.
That's all right. Greg Adams, thank you. Thank you very much for showing up.
Yeah, man. It was nice to finally meet you, dude.
Yeah, good to meet everybody, man. Good to see you guys.
And let's do it again.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd love to. You can count me in.
I'm in.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Let's get some topics. We can, be a little more focused. But I think there was a nice introduction and nice chat. Nice time.
We'll organize the stuff. I'll get some kind of group chat for us. So I'm sure Hamster will put all the links in when he wakes up tomorrow, hungover as all hell. You guys know I'll be putting out stuff.
It's my birthday, dude. Come on, I got to.
Thanks for hosting, Ginger. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Hammerhand. Thank you, Coach. Thank you,
brothers.
Undead. Thank you, Zarius. And thank me. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Adios, brother. Good night, guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.